Awesome. Awesome. We started now. So, uh, I have a special guest with me here today, and it's Chris Style Inc., aka Christopher Curtis from. You may know him from Jazz, the comic, the indie manga, and his current creation, Dream Match Revolution, that he's doing with Ash Kohari. And do you have anything to say about your creations, Chris? I'm gonna make sure the links are sent out to people.
I mean, I don't have much to say. Like you said, it's well, first of all, hi Ken.
Hello, how you doing, man?
Hello, Ken. So when you do these things, you gotta be like, and this is my guest, and then you gotta have some type of banner. But that's fine.
Yeah, for
That's fine.
sure.
We
Yeah,
can,
man. It's our first time talking. In fact, I almost just want to get into it naturally because we have just kind of a built up rapport from being online, and we've never met in real life, but we just like kind of go back and forth. So I think a lot of this can just kind of come off naturally. We can just uh talk about whatever.
yeah, no, just like how I found out that you were actually black, January of this year.
You say what? Black? What was that word?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh,
Say it again.
January. You said
Yeah.
January.
Yep. Last
What?
this past January.
What the hell was that? Through watching my videos or something?
I think it was. It was you had did a video at some point and you finally posted it, and I was like, oh, so that's not an actual avatar. That's just him. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. I actually did a picture where I took a picture of myself doing the same deal as my avatar. Let me post that we're live now. What have you been up to today, man?
Um, I'm on fall break. So as I told you,
Oh, really?
so I'm not going to work. So today was a good day to launch on Kickstarter, which apparently the entire universe also launched on Kickstarter at the same time. So it was like
Yeah.
grand opening, grand closing. As far as like getting on that like new page smell, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I feel like the same thing, man, cuz I launched on Monday. I launched yesterday. And I was just like, damn, this is probably not the best day to launch. In fact, I came up with the date October 14th, just kind of randomly. I was like, all right, fuck it, October 14th, because it was 2 weeks from the day that I set for myself. And then I realized it was on a Monday. I think the best day to launch is on a Friday where people actually have their money, but Monday nobody has any money, so it's like fuck.
Well, you have to remember that even if I mean money or either have money or don't have money, you don't get charged until the campaign's over.
Right.
So you have to
But I
kind
mean,
of
you
like
want to
like remind people about that.
yeah, but you want to get into it where people have their money ready, like on a Friday or on a Saturday or something like that, and then they have it for your campaign so you can hit the ground running early, and then it can kind of wane off towards the middle of the campaign and all that.
I don't know because I was told last year to it's better to do it on Tuesdays. The
I've heard
reasons
that as
why
well.
I don't remember why. It's just something that I've always done ever since.
Right. Yeah, I've heard that as well. I've heard Tuesdays are good and Fridays are good. It's like before or after people get paid for the month or for the every 2 weeks.
I'm hoping that at some point somebody will come in the comments and tell you.
Tell me the right day.
Yeah, they'll tell you it's Tuesday or because of this or Friday because of that. I have no idea.
Yeah, I hope so. Massive Panda, he said something. He might be on the up and up.
Yeah,
Me.
pandas usually have a good knowledge of Kickstarters.
Oh yeah, yeah. Wait, what? All right, hold on. Save changes. Okay. Just making sure the link goes out to everybody.
For the live?
Yeah. Yep. The live.
Yeah.
And it's on Twitter already, but I want to make sure I want to update everybody's to make sure they're getting on it. Let me grab this while I'm looking for, or while I'm sending out the link. Do you want to start talking about Jazz or Dream Match Revolution?
Oh, Dream Match. Dream Match is right now the bigger focus.
Right.
I could talk about Jazz later if need be.
Okay. And with Dream Match Revolution, this almost like I know Jazz is like your baby and that you've been focusing on for the longest time, but then with Dream Match Revolution, I'm not sure where that idea came from and how long you've been working on that. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, certainly. So actually I had the idea for Dream Match Revolution. They had a whole different name a while ago, but I had the idea about a year and a half, 2 years ago, right next to Jazz, in a host of other IP ideas. But I went with Jazz first, and then Jazz is basically at its second chapter, going into the third.
Right.
I needed to I guess I'll let the cat out the bag here. But I was working on a not even like a multiverse, but like a MCU type story where all my IPs at some point come together for one big narrative, and then I was going to end it at that. But there's been some things that have came up in this past year where I might scrap the whole idea.
Oh, really?
But Dream Match and Jazz are in the same universe, so you're gonna see a lot of overlap.
So we're gonna see characters from Jazz come into Dream Match, and wouldn't it be like unfair just because Dream Match seems to be more like human focused? Like they do the Dream Match characters have superpowers?
No, they they don't, but they do have a power system. It's only in the ring, but it's called Will, and it's essentially your wrestler's will, as in how bad do they want to be there, and what are they willing to do for it. As you go in the story, you kind of figure out that the main character doesn't have it. She's strong, but she has no actual will, and without will, she's not able to make the choice to, or have a chance to be greater, than what she is. Right. So it's a story about capturing your why instead of your how to get your dream.
Nice. It's going after the why instead of the how. And then Will, in what ways are people able to manipulate Will to do certain things, or does it work more like Fighting Spirit in a show like Hajime no Ippo, if you ever heard of it?
Yeah, so so my idea on paper was, after I watched a little bit of like Demon Slayer, I saw that all the cool fire and water effects were not actually happening. Like nobody could see it.
I heard about
but
that.
It was done for like visual effect. So when you get somebody with the will, then you will see that in the ring, but it's not happening.
Okay, so you'll see it in terms of effects, but it's not actually doing anything.
No, and what's even funnier about that is that because me and Ash are the commentators for Diamond Heights Pro Wrestling. So when we get to certain parts of the story, we'll be explaining what we can't see, but what it looks like, and it'll let you guys know, like, we don't see the aura, we just see the stairs in the ring.
Okay, that's dope. So we see it as the reader of the comic, right?
Yeah,
but you guys are explaining it as the commentators, as if it's actually happening, even though people can't see it, right?
It's a way to like keep up the whole immersion. So like there'll be a thing where something flashy will happen in the ring, and Ash might mention that it looks a certain way, just to like let you know that it was semi flashy for us, but it's not what
Right.
like we saw from what y'all saw.
Okay, so what? Let me get it right. So in the series, you and the commentator, you don't actually see any powers coming out. You just see the move happening, but there's no flash or anything. It's just it looks as if there's energy or something coming out.
Yeah, it's just like we're just like comedy effect for the whole thing. So we might make
Okay,
a
okay.
a slight like none of us are actually serious about what we're doing. Also, Angels of the Renaissance, which I know this person. I've been meaning to like DM that person. So hi back to you.
Oh, hey, it's Ralph. Nice, 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 nice. So what is happening, Comic Ken? Hello to CRISPR. Stopping by to say hello, getting ready to record. Be right back later. Nice, nice, nice. Awesome. Yeah, that guy, we were talking yesterday about how he draws like really fast and gets pages out. He's like DD Mark in that respect, man.
Yeah, and somebody put me onto his Kickstarter, and I was too late to actually like have a effect. So I wanted to kind of like talk to him and be like, hey, you can also be funded, like but I haven't had time to actually go and do it.
Yeah, yeah. I saw his Kickstarter as well, and I was like, I wanna help. I wanna like say something about it so he can uh put like some of the necessary stuff on the page to get people to sign up for it.
Yeah.
Let me see. Here we go. Dream Match Revolution. I'm getting the I'm pulling up the page. But yeah, basically I got my whole Kickstarter that I launched yesterday. I spent the whole weekend just kind of getting that set up. I did the trailer and the whole page in a couple of days, and that was nerve-wracking because it was I had to spend like 2 all-nighters just getting all that done. Let me present my
I feel that I actually didn't do a trailer this time around.
Oh, really? Do you notice an effect, like a different effect, if you don't do a trailer?
We're about to find out because I've done a
Well,
trailer all this time, and now I'm like, what if I don't do one? Because is it like cool dressing? Yeah, but even when I like did do them, it didn't really give me any type of data that like let me know that it worked. So I don't like to do window dressing just to do it, just because somebody else is doing it.
right. What was it? It looks decent, like just off of the picture, like the front picture with the 3 covers next side by side.
Yeah.
And I've had another like classmate from school. He did his first Kickstarter without any trailer, and he made 40K on that first bit. So I was just like, wow.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. It really depends on what you make. Kickstarter is not exactly friendly to manga works. Like sometimes you'll like see people come up and do like 20,000 doing manga, but that's because they have a built-in audience coming into Kickstarter.
Right.
So I'm taking my built-in audience, and then I'm also taking the Kickstarter audience, and I'm just kind of like, hey, I hope you guys aren't afraid of manga. But no, it's been cool so far.
Nice.
See, so on that page right there, if you go up, that's me and Ash. Right, no, down. The page is like no, yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Right there, yeah.
Why is Ash like a monkey or something?
That is what she drew herself as. I do not. That's my dog. So, and that's the one that had the pencil. So I'm not gonna question nothing.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of like when manga artists draw themselves as like an icon or something like that, and they put it at the beginning and of their manga and do like a little commentary or whatever.
Oh yeah, but instead here we're doing it inside the story.
Right. Yeah, that's dope actually. Nice. So then this is the main character, right?
Yeah.
All right. And then what's her name and what does she do in the story? What's her goal and dream and all that?
So her name is Faith Stone. And as of right now in this story, she is a loser. She has no wins. Um, she's she gets in the ring. If you go to the like very first page, you can see her getting right there. She's just straight losing all her matches,
Mm-hmm.
and you find out in the story that all of her like she has the ability to win matches fairly, but her general manager is telling her to keep up with shareholders and to keep up with business. We have to get other people ahead of you. Like, your time has come. Just do as we say. It'll come later. So she's kind of just like very underutilized and is like, I just want to have a fair match. Like my whole career can't just be losses. And she joined Diamond Heights Pro Wrestling because she wanted to wrestle her idol, which happens to be the champion of Diamond Heights. So, but as she finds out, she can't really wrestle the champion unless she gets wins. So she's kind of left at a standstill of, do I just wait till my time comes or do I just take it?
Mm-hmm. Nice. And what actually inspired this story to come out?
I watched a lot of wrestling growing up, and then I kind of stopped.
Women's wrestling specifically?
No, this story like evolved over time. So originally this was called Leaders of the New School, and it was a male protagonist character who was kind of doing the same thing, not in this vein, but over time I learned that my writing strength is writing women. I can write men no problem, but it's something about writing a multifaceted story with different personalities and having women be the purveyor of these personalities. It just works out better for me. So you kind of go to your strength, but watching a lot of anime, of course. This story is just 100%. What if Kishimoto grew up in like the Midwest and was just watching WWF all his life, and he didn't, and he was like, you know what, I'm gonna go make Naruto, but instead it's a kid who wants to be like the greatest wrestler of all time and has to write in all these other characters who have their own stories, their own backgrounds, or their own goals that may or may not overlap with his. So with Faith being like the main character, every other wrestler is on their own pathway, and you will see a lot of things where it has nothing to do with Faith, but it'll still overlap with her. So it's just kind of like, that's what I mean when I put like this graphic right here. It takes inspiration from Naruto in that aspect. And then of course with Kill la Kill, which is it's almost the exact same format of how the show represents progression. So that's also where I brought it from.
So like Kill la Kill, where the main character is like the challenger of a bunch of characters that are like stronger than her and all that.
Yeah.
Nice. I feel like I saw a few days ago a show that's like that has wrestling or something like that, where with a little black girl, and that's like a cartoon that's coming out on
Adult Swim.
Yeah.
Yep.
What is that called? Did you notice that, or what is that?
I don't remember what it was called. I watched the trailer because like 4 people all at once sent me the trailer. I'm gonna go do something. Like, oh hey, Adult Swim's trying to rob you. Like, no, they're not. Invincible Fighter Girl, thank you, Yoshi. So
Fighter Girl. Okay, nice.
Yeah. So, but I watched it and I'm not like perturbed by the fact that people are making like wrestling content. I'm not the first. I'm not going to be the last, and I'll never be the best. So for me, but what it does for me is that when you have other wrestling media on top of your media, it enhances the value of it if more people like wrestling media overall. So what I can do is just stack Dream Match next to it, which I kind of have been doing this week. Nice. I've never liked intergender wrestling, and this one kind of has it where she's wrestling like men. it's a weird dynamic that doesn't work out for me personally. But if that's their content and that's what they're doing, I can at least say that there's wrestling involved. There's a black protagonist involved. That's enough for me to put Dream Match next to it.
Yeah, I think because I've seen that before where something similar comes out in an animated form, and then you can kind of ride the wave of something similar coming out there. Are you doing like posts or something where you say like, if you like this show or if you like the trailer to this, check out Dream Match Revolution or Dream Match Revolution?
For like this show?
Yeah, like do you do like side by side posts that, you know, say if you like this, you'll like this, back today or back my Kickstarter?
No. I used to do that last year, but I don't like to put established stuff next to my stuff because you run the chance that, like, what if someone doesn't like that? And if they don't like that, they're gonna automatically not even look at your stuff, even if it's similar or different in any which way, because you know, like it's for instance, I learned this last week. Somebody saw my graphic, it was like, you put Naruto in there. Well, I hate Naruto. And I was like, why do you hate Naruto? And he was like, I think Naruto's annoying because he always says his catchphrase. And I was like, that's a pretty dumb reason to not like Naruto, but I get you. However, I only put it there because it shares similarities with its story structure. If you don't like catchphrases, don't watch commercials. You know, it's whatever. Like and then you have to realize that like some people, not everybody is going to be your audience, and you don't need to have everybody, you know, providing you with anything or participating or anything. But
right,
I would rather just tell people like out front what it is, and just be in the same space as something else that is doing wrestling.
right. Nice. And let's check how many backers we got so far.
Just got one just while we were scrolling. So
nice.
We are $93 away from a day one fund.
Oh, nice. Wait, it says 20. Oh, did you launch it at 25 days instead of 30?
Yep.
Oh, why?
I don't. So this campaign and the very next one that'll come out in November, December.
Uh-huh.
I don't need big cheese for these things. I'm just doing campaigns just to fund for shipping to buy more supplies. Because starting next year, I'm doing a offline initiative starting in February, and I just want to have stuff for my offline presence. And this is so I'm not like sweating like, oh man, I have to have the first day 3,000. Nah, I'm okay with that. We do things a day at a time, but 30-day campaigns are cool. 25 is cool. If you could swing 20, that's cool. If you could swing 10, it's however you do it.
Nice. So with since you're like writing, you say you have an offline, what's the word? Offline
presence.
Is that where you're like, are you trying to go to conventions? What do you mean by that?
Okay, so starting in February, I'll be at my very first convention here in my state of Indiana.
Nice.
Which Ash might be flying up here to join me, and I'm gonna try to network with them. I've been in contact with a couple of wrestling venues in my town, who one of them is actually looking forward to possibly being a distributor for Dream Match. Which is great. So that means that some of the income can be taken care of on that side. I'm just trying to generate income in other places so I don't have to do it online.
Okay.
So to speak. So I'll be hitting up comic book shops. I'll be doing more pop-ups. I'll be trying the whole point is that you want to get a big enough venue. I mean, a big enough presence so that you can just host your own venues and you don't have to worry about like being on anyone else's platform.
Right. Okay. I'll be honest, I hate being online all the time.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's even worse when you make what I make, and then you sit in spaces with people who don't make what you make, and you're supposed to
Uh-huh.
just like coexist with them. And like I'm doing a bunch of things that I don't really want to do. That doesn't really help my brand
Mm,
in a long term fashion, but it's something that will help me in in the short term now amongst these communities. But it's not really something I want to do.
right. Do you have any examples of things that you're doing that you don't want to do?
I don't. So when you use Kickstarter, you
Mhm.
have to play by their rules, and you have to
Right.
play by their rules of engagement because that's what the creators have set in place to work as is.
Uh-huh.
So you like and I don't mind variant covers a lot. Like I like them, but when it's something that's like I have to, it's something where I'm like, if I have to, then I'll do them the way I do them. But
Right.
it's become like an expectation that doesn't work for me personally.
Right.
Would I do variant covers on my own? Sure. I just wouldn't worry about having, because like as indie comic creators, we keep trying to copy the exact industry that we don't want to be a part of instead of
Mm.
just making a new standard for that industry. So it's basically all we did was become the British when we left Britain, went to the states, and then
Uh-huh.
started to copy everything that we had came from because we didn't have any standards set up when we got here.
Right.
We is the word I don't want to use because it's them, but I get that. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there anything that you see that indie comics creators have an advantage in, or have that they could do differently, um that you've seen other people actually doing that's different from what the mainstream does? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it does. Yoshi said Nova, you butthead. That's Yoshi's favorite character was up top. He was
Oh,
just admiring her. Um, some really cool indie creators so a lot of them draw their own stuff, right?
yeah.
And I was just talking to Ash about it yesterday on stream. There's a guy called Digitab, and we were saying that yes, he makes manga. I don't know where he's from, but when you look at his stuff, it looks like a culmination of ideas from other artists, but you could tell it's not a stagnant like copy and paste that anybody else would do in his line of work. We like it when the art standard is a standard that you set. There's a lot of people in the field that will come and like verbatim copy Kishimoto, Oda,
Oh,
anybody else because I admire them, I love them, yada yada.
mhm.
And it's like, okay, cool, but they didn't get to where they got just carbon copying like other people. Like you need to establish, it's something that hasn't been really fought amongst us to be like, hey, maybe you shouldn't be copying, Toriyama, you
Mhm.
know, but you admire him and his whatnot and his he saved your childhood or whatever. So
Mhm.
um indie comic creators excel when they go away from the standards that other people have set for themselves and just start setting their own standards. And that's like Seiji Bot.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
that's my guy, and he's another example of somebody who does just that.
Yeah, I see what you mean. So when indie creators embrace their own, let's say, style, or something that the mainstream isn't doing, that anyone could buy that stuff from the mainstream, but then the indie creator is doing something that they can't get from the mainstream. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, because another example, you will see a lot of carbon copies of heroes that have been established. Like this is my take on Superman. This is my take on. It's kind of like, or just go wild. Like just I mean, like do a safe bet, but at least go wild with it. Like you're kind of just, and it's not just like everybody, but there are key things I've seen where it's like, you guys don't really have to do the exact same thing. This is
Mhm.
Tumblr. What are you doing
Yeah.
on Tumblr?
Oh, this is a Segibot's art.
I didn't know that he had a. No, this is old. That's why.
Yeah, it seems like it. I think is
Super duper old. Yeah, his name is Lunch now.
right.
LUNXDH. Lunchbot. He's actually gonna call me tomorrow. I need to remember that.
I just got to go on X and do it that way.
Yeah.
Cause I know I'm following him. He's doing Mana. Are you you're part of that? You're doing comics for on Suru Go, right?
No.
Oh, you're not?
Not at this time, no.
Oh. I thought you had something in that magazine at some point.
No, I'm always like so. Well, so the one thing that I had in his magazine is that he asked me to do a crowdfunding Kickstarter Q&A.
Crowdfunding Kickstarter. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it was basically me kind of like here's how I do what I do, and here's what I think you shouldn't do, and here's what I think you guys should do in terms of doing manga on Kickstarter. But no, I don't have anything with him right now. Not that I wouldn't, I just don't have anything right now. But it is possible
Okay.
in the like near future.
Nice. Yeah, so I guess he's just coloring like a cover from One Piece.
Yeah, he's been doing color practicing for the last few weeks, just trying to, just trying to grow. He's not going to take this style and become stagnant. He's just trying to get down like how it works and all the things behind it, and then he'll twist into his own style.
Right,
But
right.
most people would like get it down, and all of a sudden you see a bunch of One Piece style coloring, and you're just kind of like, great, that's not what we wanted.
No. Yeah, that'll happen sometimes. Nice. All right, let me share this tab instead. Awesome. So in terms of anime, have you seen anything recently that you want to talk about, or anything in the past that you're just like, that was a good show?
I could talk about Dandadan, because there's been some issues where people have read it, or maybe sorry, because nobody reads. People have watched it and have these really dumb like complaints about it.
All right.
And it's in. I don't want to be the guy that's like, but that's what like Japan does. There's a lot of nuanced storytelling with how they like portray certain things, and I feel like we should be more mature on how we look at on like anything.
All right. All right. So did you like the first episode of Dandadan, or the first couple episodes of Dandadan?
I've only seen the first one. I used to read it about 2 years ago, and then I canceled my Viz membership, so I never got to finish it. But where I'm at in the manga, it's pretty. I mean, it's good. It's funny. I like it, but I figured that I would try the anime just because, and it's really good. It's really good. The first episode was it was a one-on-one rendition of the manga, so there's no complaints. I was like, maybe they'll shy away with like some of the imagery, and no, they did not. Not at all. And that's what I love it for. So no, it's really good.
Yeah, I think the art is really good, and the especially in the manga, it's really good. And then in the anime, they do a great job of taking what's in the manga and translating that. But I didn't like the first episode. And it wasn't for the reasons that like people think, like maybe the sexual stuff or whatever. It was more for just like storytelling issues, like minor storytelling gripes. I actually did a tweet about it where I think my issue with the first episode was where they were talking about their backstory. They were explaining the backstory instead of having it be dramatized to the viewer. Like they were just talking about it instead of it just playing out and showing over time and whatnot. I felt like that was kind of weird.
I mean, that's a valid like criticism that they should have just kind of animated it, but I don't mind that because they were trying to give us all of the key scenes and key animations faster,
Mm-hmm.
and they were like, anime crowd people don't like exposition, so we're gonna just let them talk about it, but then we're gonna do all the stuff that we want to do and have that 100% animated, and we'll just go ahead and call it a day. People who like stories should stick to where stories are 100% the main focus. Um, and which is a terrible thing to say to people who watch anime because it's like, yes, you also get story, but you also lose key things when you do like adaptations. So
Right. Yeah.
but it was. I mean, it's not a bad change, but I do see what you're talking about, and I do agree with you. Some of it could have been animated.
I don't know if that was what the first chapter was like. I remember reading it like years ago, but I watched episode 2 as well, and there was this point where the main girl should have died. Like she was getting like beaten into a wall by this big monster thing, and by this thing. And I felt like she should have died at that point, but there was no explanation for how she survived, so it was kind of weird.
I think it's explained in the manga. Like she has some type of like, it's that inner power that she got in the first episode.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
like part of
it's
her psychic abilities or something.
it's something like that. It's just anime storytelling. You kind of just, I have powers now, and you're like, okay, well, do these powers make you bulletproof? It's like
Right.
it's like when you look at Dragon Ball and you're like, okay, cool. So Goku used to be like, he could take a bullet and it would hit him and it would hurt and it
Mhm.
would possibly kill him. But as he got older, because he was like angrier, the bullet would never go through. So it's kind of like nothing really gets explained about like Saiyan physiology, how to,
Right.
but you don't want all that. Like you don't care. Like you're just kind of like, give me everything flashy and let me just turn off my brain for a quick second. Because this is not a thinking like anime. It's not a thinking manga. Like everything given to you is given to you on a surface level. So you don't have to sit down and be like, what does this mean? Why is this
Right.
alien like this? Why are they trying to go and get his ball? You just
Right.
you just gotta just watch it for what it is. Also, Digitab just showed up in the chat.
Oh, nice. Yeah, whenever I'm looking at another page, I don't see. He says, What's up, man?"
Yeah,
You mentioned him before, but I didn't see his art. I tried looking up Digitab, but then it just said, "Did you mean digital?" You know what I mean?
you got to start looking on like Twitter. That's where all this. That's where they're at
Right. Yeah, let me look on Twitter then. That's how
over
it all
here
starts.
using Google that like uses AI, and it goes, "Oh, you mean digital B?" Like no,
Right. Yeah. Digitab.
and he's right
Okay.
there on
Okay.
top.
There we go.
Yeah, that's my man's right there. Yeah, no, we were we
Nice.
were we were reading this stuff last night and our last week, and we just had to talk about it. Yoshi says sometimes they change things to simplify some parts of production. In the manga, Okuran made it out of the tunnel, but they would have had to animate him getting on the bike. If they, yep, that's true.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
that's true. And it's like small things like you're like, do we really need to see all will be solved? We just have to see the like gist of it and then go on from there. Like I know for a fact that My Hero, which I'm currently watching right now, is not manga 100%. Like there's some certain things change because it needs to flow because they don't have the budget to do 59 episodes. It makes
Right.
sense.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. I haven't watched My Hero in a long time. What episode are you on?
I just finished the last one for the season.
Oh, the latest one that came out. Dang.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm all caught up.
I feel like I dropped off like reading the manga. I dropped off at Oh, after the fight between Deku and Bakugo, the second one,
Oh,
where
early.
yeah, it was way too early. Where they're like where Deku finally learns how to like kick with his powers,
Yeah.
and yeah, that's where I stopped. It was before even that new kid showed up that can phase through the ground and all that.
Oh yeah, that's not even that's like three seasons, back.
Right.
I will say that when I originally found out about My Hero and I tried to like watch it, I turned it off.
Oh, really?
Second episode, I turned it off because the whole premise that I had read was it was about a guy who didn't have a quirk and had to go to a school to live amongst people that had quirks, and his whole goal was to use his encyclopedia knowledge to gain strengths and weaknesses on how he could combat them. So it was almost like a Batman story, in a way. And I was intrigued by it. And then second episode, he gets a quirk, and I'm like, never mind. I was excited, and then never mind. So I didn't watch My Hero like right after that. But the high school that I go to, I had a student who had it on in class, and he was watching it in Japanese. And I'm looking over, and Deku is, I think this was the arc where he was the what was it? Yoshi might know. It was like he was like a rebel. He like didn't go to the vigilante. He was so it was the yeah. So I saw when he was fighting the Bullet Girl, the one that shoots her hair.
Oh, well, that's a long way. Wow.
Yeah, long way. So I'm in class. I looked over and like the fight looked really good, and Deku had a bunch of powers, and I'm sitting there like, damn. When did he get all that?
Yeah, like 7 different powers. That was crazy.
Yeah, I was so and I just know him as a guy who didn't know how to do anything. So I'm like, okay, this is great. So I'm talking to him in class, and I'm like, yeah, this is why I quit watching it. And he's kind of like, well, no, the whole point wasn't because he was getting a quirk and being in a society of people that had to master their quirks. They still have to go to school for it. The whole thing about him was that he had to master it, just like how they had to master their quirks at the same time. So it's not like he just jumped up into the gene pool of like, I'm better than you. He might have had All Might's power, but he had no idea how to tame it. And that alone, especially when I work as an educator, that alone is like, okay, wow. I like that. I wish that they would have told me that better from when I read about it. So I went back and I just steamrolled about 5 seasons of it in like a week, and now I just love it.
Yeah, a lot of people, I think, got the wrong impression from the first chapter or the first couple of chapters where they thought he was going to be like a Batman type of character where he would prove himself without having superpowers, and that's what really excited them. And I never thought of it that way. I didn't think that a non-powered character would be able to keep up with all the other like superheroes, especially in like a mainstream Shonen Jump story. So they had to give him some superpower that would look flashy and be cool and all that, because if he was just human, then he couldn't be in Fortnite, he couldn't be in all these other things, or he wouldn't have all these like flashy powers and stuff like that. So I think they needed to give him some kind of power to keep the story going.
Yeah, and I mean, and it worked out. It worked out overall, over time. I got to see that because when you say things like, let me transfer my quirk to you, I think, let me transfer the whole mastery of my quirk to you. And that's what got me annoyed, because I'm like, so everybody else had to grow up and had to like
figure it
master it on their own. You just get it on day one. Now you get to go to so I just turned it off. But I was wrong to do so. And matter of fact, if I had just waited like 2 episodes, they would have explained exactly what I was mad about, and I would have been fine with it. So
it would
sometimes it's better to just power through anything.
Yeah, it's like the 3 episode rule. If you waited like 2 more episodes to see see that he uses it, or he has like a big drawback to using the power and whatnot.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that's the kind of thing I'm doing with Don. I didn't really like the first episode, but I'm gonna watch the second and the third to see if I should keep going. And then with everyone else watching it right now, I'm like, I want to see what the zeitgeist is into, or I want to see what people are generally into, so that I can have like a baseline bar of what people like, so that I can adjust what I'm doing based on that and whatnot.
that is terrible. I would never do that.
Wait, hold on. We'll get to that. Just some girl without a mustache says, the girl from Don had her psychic powers protecting her at the gate, and she wasn't just taking straight blows from that big ass spear. It does look like that though. Yeah, I didn't know. I don't think they ever explained that during the episode. So it's like, how do I know that she's having like getting her protecting herself with her psychic powers? So I don't think it explained that too well, so it just looked like she was getting like pounded and with no protection. So
Oh, that is out of context. Okay, yeah, you want a soundbite? I got you.
no, no, wait. Arcader GT said, "I'm gonna wait till it's over."
That's fair.
Probably referring to Dandanon,
Yeah.
the anime season, maybe.
Yeah, no, and that's fair. Like I don't, as you were saying earlier, I don't watch things to be involved with like a group, because a lot of people don't share like intelligence for for like certain things, and I don't like to sit around and have to like overly explain or just watch people under explain a concept that's elementary. It's not nothing I want to do. So
Right.
I'll tell you right now, if you don't like Dandadan in like the 4th episode, just don't even go, because whatever you don't like about it, they're going to like 4 times it as they go forward. So just go ahead and play it safe. Don't even look at it.
But that's actually the 3rd time somebody's saying this, where they said if you didn't like it in the first episode or in the first couple episodes, you're not gonna like it like going past that. And you said you've read ahead in the manga, right?
Yeah, I've read up to where the alien girl shows up.
Oh, okay, I don't even know about that, but
yeah. At that point, I'm a little bit of like shocked. Like they might pull off one of the biggest heists I've ever seen in like anime history with what they have to do.
Oh, in the anime?
Yeah, because there's some content things where it's like, y'all was playing in the manga. I don't know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's I don't know.
Okay, so man, that's like that might be a sign, but it's like I gotta see what's up. The one show that I'm actually interested in is Blue Lock.
Yeah,
Blue
I
Lock
knew he
is
was gonna say that.
Yeah, Blue Lock is the soccer show, and I love season 1, but then I heard like there's some like been budget cuts for season 2, and it's not as like good looking as season 1 is. There's a lot of still shots and whatnot, but I'm still gonna watch it.
Let me tell you right now, this is exactly why I do not care for groupthink, because these things make no sense. People just say what the next man said, what the next man said, what the next man said, because everything that's in that episode that people were talking about, because they always bring up like, oh, look at these still shots, look at these still frames. It's the exact same thing that was in season 1. It's the exact same thing.
Oh, really?
Like so what happened was that in this particular scene, which only happens in a small scene, it was done for like effect. There's a guy who is they said he was like a ninja lineage. So while he's zipping through the defenders, everybody else is staying solitary. So because he's moving, they're not. It gives the effect that everybody's complaining about. No one's paying attention to the exact detail on the screen. They're just saying what somebody else said, and now it's fact. Now there's budget cuts, or now they're saving this budget for the U20 game, and it's kind of like if y'all, and this happened like literally like 5 seconds before they clip the scene. Yeah, folks do run their mouths. Exactly.
Run their mouth on topics they don't understand. Yeah, it's mostly on Twitter. I got to stay off of that because
yeah, I'm about to ask you, where did you learn that from? Because it was nowhere else. It had to be Twitter.
Yeah, they just post the clips out of context, and then it's just like, oh well, I guess it's trash now. So I'm still gonna watch it. It's not like I'm being influenced by their opinions, but it's like people just say whatever, and that's just it.
No, so I saw that same clip that like you saw, and I happened to be wanting to watch Blue Lock, so I put it on. I'm thinking like, damn, so the whole episode's gonna be like 2 frames a second. And then it was right when he did the whole like ninja glide bit. That's when it all happened, and everything was in slow motion, and they were like paralyzed. And then while they're paralyzed, everything's going on, and it's like, okay, well, this makes more sense. Like maybe if there was more context, but no, right. Of course, you would like Blue Lock because of your nationality.
Oh yeah, man. Just like with Dragon Ball and Naruto, man. I feel like Mexicans like Dragon Ball the most, like more than black people for some reason.
Yeah, you know that's an argument that I would love to have because I agree with you. I think I wasn't gonna be like I don't agree with you. No, you're right. You're 100% right. But like me growing up, I only grew up black, so I never got to see like how other nations and what other people did, dealt with like Dragon Ball Z. So when I got to like I want to say 2022, and I'm thinking to myself, like, man, the black population held down Dragon Ball Z. I'm looking over. No, we did not. No, we did not. Like Goku isn't. Yeah, exactly. Goku is a cultural icon. I mean, almost to a like Senate level icon. Like we don't have that. Like you say Dragon Ball Z, and somebody might go, "Oh yeah, I had them all one time." Like brings it up down there, and somebody will tell you in their language all about him.
All about him, yeah. He's and they did a really great. I think they did a mural in South America for Akira Toriyama when he passed and all that.
Oh no, there was like it was a whole event. It was a whole citywide event over there.
Right.
What did we do? We just went on Twitter and was like, "Damn, man, that man kept me in the house." Yeah, damn. And then we went, and then what? Walked away.
Yeah, basically.
You can't even tell me when he died. You can't even tell me the exact month that he died, can you?
No, man. No, I can't. It was I think it wasn't February. It was
look at you.
July. Well, you tell me.
It was in March.
Damn.
And I didn't even have to go to Mexico to know this.
Dang. March. Man. March wasn't even that.
Yes, Brazil did live stream the finale of Super just off of that.
Yeah. Oh, just off of that. I was thinking about that time they broadcast the Jiren versus Goku fight in Mexico, and everybody was just sitting around watching that. It was that big of an event.
We didn't do that. Yeah, so I've been telling like other blurs like, yeah, you know what, leave it alone, go find something else because they got that.
Yeah, for real.
I remember that. Hold on. Just some girl with the mustache mentioned the
oh yeah.
Yeah, that right there. Yeah, I didn't even see that. Yeah, no, that's also why I don't stick around for groups because I remember that.
I don't even remember
about that. Yeah, so I don't remember the character, but I do remember them being like upset about the symbolism, or it was childish or some bullshit. I don't remember that.
Wait, did you read the manga of Blue Lock, or did you only watch the anime?
I went straight to anime. I didn't even think about reading it, and part of me wants to because I hate waiting for stuff. But then reading manga, you tend to, because I could read through a whole volume in 20 minutes and then be like, oh yeah, I'm good now. But I think when you go from anime to manga, you tend to have you have a much bigger expectation for what you're looking at. So it's hard to go back to anime. And so knowing that, I refuse to go back. Like how I used to read Undead Unluck. I loved it. I went to anime and I was like, I don't know. So I went back to manga, and then now I can't go back to anime.
Dang. So Undead Unluck is a better manga reading experience than the anime.
To me, there's a lot of nuance that they made just for the manga. When you make manga, and this is coming from a person who does, when you make it, you don't think about this will look good in anime. You know what I'm saying? Like this will look good if it's animated. We just make the moments, we just make the emotions and do whatever. That job is for the animator, and how they choose to bring it to the screen is how they choose to do it. Like most, if anything, anybody who makes manga that go right to anime, they're not in the room when it's getting done. They may get shown bits and pieces. They might, you know what I'm saying, they might end up being asked like, hey, we should we do this? Should we do that? Right. But they're not in the room, nor should they be, because that's not their element. So a lot of that is based off of the studios and how they do it. But it's something about Undead just being a much better book. Just like what's the Kaiju number 8? That one's way more. It's much better as a manga than it is anime.
Oh really?
100%, yeah, 100%.
I've seen some clips from the anime, and they don't look like super well animated or whatever. The manga always looked like it had really great art in it.
Yeah, they took the main character of Kaiju number 8 and they like elongated him. Really? They like made him made him slimmer. And, like he looks like a noodle, and it's just kind of like when you look at the manga, he's supposed to be an older guy, sure, but he's burly, and that was the whole point of his character. When you make him slim, it's like, I guess, like now you feel like you might fall apart, you might break.
Right. I think they wanted to appeal to more fandom or something.
Who? That's the word
more
I hate.
Women, I guess.
I hate the word appeal. Appeal to who?
More women, I guess. That's what my thought was.
Nope. I don't know what there was no appeal to that. They were just doing it just to do it.
They can't just do that just to do it. They're always doing it with some marketing angle in mind. They're always thinking like, how many more eyes can we get on the manga or the anime if we change this little thing here?
But the change was stupid because it had nothing to do. It just somebody just was like, I don't know how to draw burly people, so I like to draw thin people. Like maybe that's the only thing.
Yeah, that could be part of it. Let me see. Reading the Blue Lock manga is the reason why I can't watch the anime. The manga art is so fire. Same with MHA for me. Yeah, the manga art for both Blue Lock and My Hero is so strong. It's so good. I think Koshi Kohei was one of the best artists in Shonen Jump at the time that he was still published.
Right. No, he was. No, I need to go pick up Blue Lock. Who's your favorite player in Blue Lock?
Damn, that's a good question. I'm thinking about it, and the one guy that comes up is Nagi. Even though I really like Isagi as a main character, he's great as an MC, but Nagi, whenever he's combined with any person that he's combined with, is just like I like his character whenever he's working off of somebody else, because he's lazy by himself, but then when he gets with somebody else, it's like he levels up, and I like that about his character.
That's such a softball answer, but I'll take it.
What's your answer, Doc?
I don't know. It's the pink hair one.
Chigiri.
That's the one. I keep wanting to say like Chidori, but that's not it.
Chidori. No, why?
Yeah,
why?
Cool.
Why him?
Because he has one of my favorite skill sets when it comes to soccer, and it's speed. And not only is it speed, he has traction. So it's not just where he can like blaze a pathway. He's able to move to routes very well, and his character has not been touched on a lot because we're still trying to figure out how the main character can do anything worthwhile. He's still trying to figure it out. So,
right.
Until he figures out, because he has that stupid I call it an autism power.
An autism power.
because all he does, something would happen like right in front of him, and he'll do that like stupid puzzle thing.
Oh, you're talking about Isagi? Okay,
Yeah. And then he'll all of a sudden be like, "Oh, I fit here," and then he
Right.
does absolutely nothing special to make his power work, and they keep treating him like, "Oh man, you were so worth it in that last play." It's like, no, you didn't. There was no defenders. you kicked the ball, and there was no one between you and the goalie. So why should I
Yeah.
care about your power?
That's his
So
power. He figured out where he needs to be in the play so that he's not challenged whenever
no,
he has to do
Ken, no, because the last two times that he did it is when he got the ball and turned around and there was nobody there. He didn't move. He just got he had a ball passed to him, and then he did this stupid he has a 100% accuracy kick power, which is funny because everybody else has the very same power.
Are you talking about in the most like recent chapters, or are you talking about like when did that happen in the story?
It happened. It was like towards the end of the first season.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that ending was really good. Let me say hi to Alpha Gator Studio. What's up, man? And then
I was called a brother. This is nice. I've been called worse.
Rickader GT says, for older anime, I usually watch it over the manga without missing much. Yu Yu Hakusho is a prime example. Lots of scenes in the anime straight up enhance the manga, and the manga is phenomenal. Yeah. There's this one scene in Kenshin recently that I watched where two characters fight that never fought in the manga version, but it actually made the scene a lot better, and they animated it really well in the classic version of Kenshin. So I enjoyed that.
No, he has a good point because older manga when it got put in the anime, there was a lot. It was a lot of a structure of, hey, we don't want to just give them what they just read. Like we have to add things to it.
Right. Yeah.
And that's what kind of like Full Metal Alchemist did that. Of course, they were also following the manga, and then they went ahead and was like, we can't wait anymore. Let's go do our own thing.
Right.
But like I do appreciate when the old anime would just do something different from the manga. Prime example, Cowboy Bebop. The anime and the manga are so different because they're not built from the very same thing.
Right. And I was wondering, which one preceded the other?
The manga came first.
Really?
The manga, yeah, it came first, but the anime just had a much better production. It blew the manga out the water. People forgot because it was a good series. People forgot that it was a very short manga series that went from A to B real fast. So you went from let's get all the characters introduced, then let's turn around and now we have to go do the syndicate. But in between there might be a little bit of hijinks here and there, and then we're gonna do our own thing, and then we'll go do the syndicate. In the anime, of course, they made it episodic, and that's where it shined. Honestly, it was much better.
Right. Let me see. Published date.
So you're gonna be careful on that Google because something gonna slip up. We gonna go offline.
I'm about to check this, man.
People love to draw Cowboy Bebop. I ain't gonna tell you which character.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Manga. Let me see.
Go ahead and flip that safe search if you could.
Safe search, yeah. Okay, let's see. So there were two manga series. One serialized from 1997 to 1998, and then let me see when the Cowboy Bebop anime.
It was in 2001. Matter of fact, wow. I could tell you exactly what I was doing because that was before 9/11.
Right. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Just a few days before. What were you doing then?
Watching Cowboy Bebop.
What the hell? Oh my god.
Bro is not clicking the images. Yeah, no, he knows better. He knows better. Oh, he did. Never mind. False alarm.
I think safe search is on, but I'm not gonna go
he
lower
says
than this.
I think it is. Oh yeah, you nervous.
Yeah. I was about to say Cowboy Bebop came on Toonami at that time it was out in America during its original run date?
No, it might have been like a year after. Now that I'm
Oh
thinking
yeah.
about it, because
Oh, okay, okay.
I was like fourth grade when it came out, and I remember because Cartoon Network used to do this stupid thing called late night black and white,
Uh-huh.
and I used to like stay up late and just watch stuff whenever I had like breaks or whatever. And of course, I'm trying to watch Betty Boop, of course, yay me. But
Yeah.
this one, because I never paid attention to any type of adverts, publications, or anything. So
Uh-huh.
one day I'm staying up late and I hear that dun 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 dun, and I was like, "What the hell is this?" And it was like all kids out the pool, Adult Swim, and I'm sitting there like, "What the hell?" Like did I sit on the remote? And so I'm looking for the remote. I'm in the family room watching TV, and I'm trying to find it. I shit you not. I hear the Cowboy Bebop theme,
Hmm.
and I turn my head. I'm like, "What?" Because it was erratic. It was loud.
Uh-huh.
So I turn my head. I'm like, "What the hell is this?" And instantly, I was sat back down on the couch because I was like, "Hold on, it's some people kicking. There's a gun. They're in space. I'm in. I don't know what this is, but I'm in. This is for me." And it became my personality for like 10, for like almost 10 years.
Nice. Wow. Was that one of your first experiences with anime, or was that like later?
Sadly, no. My dad used to turn on anime when I used to go and kick it with him,
Nice.
and he would, and this is when I was like much younger. So, um, it was either I watched Fist of the North Star, or we
Mhm.
watched the Street Fighter anime series, or if I was at my babysitter's, her son would watch like Sailor Moon and stuff.
Oh, okay,
And
okay.
I never even understood. I was like, for me, everything was a cartoon. So I didn't realize that I was watching, Japanese anything. I didn't realize I was watching somebody who could kill Goku as a
Right.
kid. But Cartoon Network had Thundercats. Yes. Cartoon Network, but well, you know what? Cartoon Network had Thundercats, and then like Adult Swim also had Thundercats. So like both of them had it.
Mm. So it was like passed between those two, not really
Yeah,
networks, but yeah.
yeah, because they were like, we can't air this anymore, and they was like, give it to us. We'll take care of this.
Right.
No, Adult Swim kept the lights on. Like it was a great idea.
Right. And Toonami came after that, right?
Tsunami came a little bit after that, yeah, and it was a way to, because like they realized that the anime that they had was great, but it wasn't getting seen, and they were getting the censorship anime back. So they were like, well, you
Mm.
know what? We could play this on TV now. As long as we play it after 7. So that's when they
Right.
started doing Tsunami, and that's when you were able to watch like Dragon Ball Z, right after school and stuff.
Yeah.
So that was a great time to watch anything.
Yeah. I didn't get into Dragon Ball Z until I was like 14, and it was on Nicktoons at the time.
Oh
So
yeah, you're oh man, that's old. You was watching Kai. You were watching Z.
yeah, exactly. I was watching Kai. And I remember it from when I was in kindergarten. Everyone was like, "Oh, this piece of bubble gum is fighting Goku." Is like, I was like, "What are they talking about? I don't know. I don't know what they're talking about." But
Piece
I
of
was
bubble gum.
yes, and I was just out of the loop because my parents wouldn't let me watch Cartoon Network. They said it was demonic or witchcraft or whatever.
That's
So
terrible.
yeah, they're from Nigeria, so like
Of course.
anything that's got swearing or blood in it is gonna be evil. And the only anime that I ever like was exposed to early on was it was actually Rurouni Kenshin was my first memory. Like when I first started remembering stuff, that was my first memory. I was like, who's this girl that can use like a sword or whatever? But and then I remember Yu Yu Hakusho, and it was specifically a scene where Yusuke was like chained with like some ball and chain that was kind of preventing him from fighting. And I remember watching those two scenes on Toonami. And then I grew up and just like you, I didn't have any idea that these cartoons were from Japan or from any different place. They looked slightly different from what I was used to, and I really loved like Pokemon and stuff growing up, but I didn't know that they were from somewhere else. It just looked like the same thing throughout, just because I didn't know where it was coming from.
Man, no, you know what? You know what's even funnier? I had no idea that like Dragon Ball Z had been out and had been finished in Japan in like the 80s, like like early 90s. I had no
Oh
idea.
wow, yeah.
So when they did the faded episode of Goku going Super Saiyan, it was a shock to me. It was a shock to all my friends. It was not a shock to my father or my brother.
Oh yeah.
Who by the time that we were looking at Goku go Super Saiyan and we were loving it, they were ahead somehow and they were watching like the Cell Saga.
Oh wow.
So when I ran out of my room, I was like, Goku just got blonde hair. And my older brother's like, don't care.
Like, we've been known that.
Yeah, I'm sitting there like, well, how are you not like jumping on top of the house right now? Like I'm fired up. And I find out, later on that he's talking about a guy named Broly, and I was like, you're just making up shit. So, yeah, you're just making up characters, man. I guess, right. Yeah, big, strong Goku's brother. Yeah, Raditz. Yeah, I get you. Yeah, he already killed him, but no.
Right.
Yeah, I had no idea that it came out in like the 90s until later on, and I was like, shit, we were getting fed all their old stuff, and it got a big boost in popularity off of that.
Wait, did you watch Dragon Ball at that time, or was it after Dragon Ball Z that you saw Dragon Ball?
I watched Dragon Ball after Dragon Ball Z. I watched Dragon Ball GT in between that, and I'm sitting there confused because I'm thinking like, okay, so is GT supposed to be after Dragon Ball or is it before? So because everything was always given to us in out of order.
Right.
So I never really understood it. But I watched Dragon Ball after Z, and it wasn't the same thing. So I didn't really finish it. I kind of just was like, oh, I guess it's Goku with a stick. It's Bulma. They're out, I guess. So I never, but it took me a long time to go back and watch it. And I'm kind of like, you know what? I really do enjoy Dragon Ball more. It's hard to say that as an adult, but I think Dragon Ball was just a much better product in the long run, but it's also not as popular for all the right reasons.
Right. Yeah, that's true. I'm actually reading through it right now. Let's see. Sonic Falcon. Hey man, what's up? He says, yeah, they put DB on between Z and some people thought it was a prequel. That's funny. Yeah, I don't even know when they put it on, but they really have a good dub for that show. Let's see.
GT confused. Yeah, GT confused me because it's like Goku was like a kid. And I'm sitting there going, okay, well, if Goku's a kid, then this must be Dragon Ball. Okay, right. I get it. I'm a smart guy, and I walked away happy.
Said I thought that shit was fan made at the time. Yeah, it was basically because it's not canon, so it's like I
thought it was fan made. I'm like, they're letting anyone do it? I want to do it.
Anybody? Yeah. He says, yeah, I grew up on Inuyasha and Dragon Ball. Yep. Along with Dragon Ball Z manga, I didn't know stuff like Spider-Man was an adaptation of a comic book. DBZ was my only comic book knowledge at the time. Yeah. Let's see. Alligator Studio. One night I got introduced to Attack on Titan. That's crazy. Hunter x Hunter and Tokyo Ghoul. I didn't know what the heck I was watching. Years later, I figured out what anime was. Obviously, I knew what Dragon Ball. Okay. So, yeah, that's a lot to start off with. Attack on Titan, Hunter x Hunter. You're starting off with like some really heavy hitters. Right at the beginning.
Yeah, that's not any type of starter I would ever put anybody on.
Yeah.
Alpha Gator's answer or pose is a remnant of a combo that I have almost every month because people will come online and talk about like in 2020 anime was mainstream, and I'm sitting there like, what do you mean was mainstream in 2020? No, when let me know when you were a kid and you can get Dragon Ball Z toys in your kids meal. Like, let me know.
Yeah.
Let me know when they had like LeBron James as an anime character selling his shoes. Like,
Damn,
let me
what?
know. Yes, let me know when MTV came out and produced the rights to Afro Samurai.
Dang.
Like what you mean it was mainstream in 2020? I don't want to hear that.
Well, mainstream maybe like because people had no choice but to be in their houses, so they started watching more and more anime, and it blew up more. But for me, when anime really started like permeating into the mainstream after like the Dragon Ball and the Naruto, actually it should have been it would have been the Naruto era when anime started really like
that was the max right there.
And then Attack on Titan came out, and then even more regular people could get into anime, and because it wasn't doing anime stuff per se, it was just like telling a story, and it was violent and all that, and people love violence. So I think Attack on Titan brought in a lot of new fans.
It did, but it didn't take away the fact that it was already a mainstream thing. And mainstream is funny because what mainstream means is that now we Americans have it, and now we have it circulating. Now it's mainstream. Every other country that already had it in multiple languages. Now we got it. Now it's No. See, right there, perfect example. Mainstream, they say, is that it's something that they can go pick up on Disney Plus. 100%. You know what?
Yeah.
I thought I could be scathing and mean, and then I just read one of the best answers back I've ever seen. I like that one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. Because I remember Naruto Shippuden started playing on Disney XD for some reason.
Yep.
And I was just like, what is this? This is ass. Because the pacing just went to shit in the beginning of Naruto Shippuden. And I was just like, what? Why is this even on Disney? It doesn't make any sense. So yeah, it was and they were way far ahead in the manga and in the anime in Japan. So I was just like waiting for new Naruto content. And I didn't know that he grew up and all this stuff happened and all that stuff. So I was
the time skip.
Yeah,
that's like One Piece coming out on Fox Kids.
Oh,
and
yeah.
they had it was that stupid Fox Kids dub.
Four kids.
Four kids. So I have students right now in my high school that are like, how are you not watching? Like, how did you not watch One Piece back in the day? And I'm sitting there going like, I didn't watch it because it was garbage, and it was garbage mainly because of the dub that we got. Like, it was a very shitty dub,
Right.
and it was not a good package. I didn't realize that the show was even going on until like 6 years later. When somebody asked me like, "Hey man, are you caught up on One Piece?" I was like, "That show still like is it like episode 50 something right now?" He's like, "Dude, they're at 100 or 212." I'm like, "What? Dang. What you mean 200? It's still going?" Right. But and then I go look at it, and all of a sudden Sanji has a cigarette and not a lollipop, and people are getting cut, and I'm like, "Whoa! when was this?"
Right.
Apparently from episode 1. Like, I never saw that.
Yeah. I think the way I got into One Piece was I saw a little clip of the Alabasta arc, maybe on Cartoon Network, and I was just like, I don't like this. This is sand. I don't like sand. And then there was another arc. There was Skypiea. They started playing Skypiea on Toonami, and I was just like, wow, this is beautiful. They're in the sky in the clouds. I like this. So I started watching it around then, and then I looked online, and people were saying that One Piece is a better experience in the manga, and that you should start reading the manga instead of watching the anime, especially the 4Kids stuff. So that's when I started getting into it and reading it, and I just kept reading it, and it was just like, wow, this is great.
As a person who will never watch One Piece ever, never will never turn it on. I started reading it too, because I read faster than I watch,
right?
And so I read it. I think I'm at it. I'm at it where they already killed the clown, or they're and this is like a while ago. I haven't read it for about a year, but the one the clown that could like tear his body up.
Oh yeah, they won't kill him, but you know.
Oh yeah, no, but like I'm at that part, and reading it manga wise, I was like, you know what? If I had known this from the very beginning, I would probably get caught up in like a year or so. But this is not that bad. Like I'm actually understanding how good One Piece can be. But it's just like that stupid post where it's like, I like Little Caesar's pizza because it's good, but there's not a bitch in your ear telling you it's nasty. So when I look at and consume One Piece, I don't do it with a group. This is the thing I said earlier. I hate groups. So everything I look at has to be just me, and like I might include somebody. I might include, hey man, you watching this? But it's much better when I can just take it as it is. So One Piece is pretty good manga wise. Anime wise, no. I'll never sit down and watch 1,000 episodes. Like even if I watch all the Simpsons, which is like way longer,
right?
I never would.
Yeah, there's just not enough lifetime to do to watch all that stuff.
No, and then like a lot of it's like super filler. Like
yeah,
like I will say I might eat my words because they are doing One Piece Red, which is supposed to be a much better paced One Piece anime. So if that looks good and they have it in a format that I can watch it, I might sit down and look at it. But they have to do a lot, and I don't think they'll do enough. I'm at the part where they killed the clown. Yeah, I don't. I don't remember. All I remember was like they like cut him up, and I was like, "Oh damn, he dead." And then he just got up, and I was like, "Man, fuck this shit."
Wait. Is that what happened surrounding that? Because I don't exactly remember.
Damn, you're asking the wrong person because that was like a year and a half ago when I was. This is back when I was like, I don't know if I can keep up reading and find time to read because I was always reading at work, but like work has started working, so I was like, screw it, I'll just read later. And then later never came. But no, I think he was there to take out a town or something, and Luffy was there, doing his Luffyisms. I don't remember. I don't remember it. Dragon Ball on Nickelodeon was great, dude. So Nickelodeon's censorship is funny because all they would do, prime example in Pokemon, is that Brock would pull up with a rice ball and be like, "I've got a jelly donut."
Yeah.
And I used to, and so me growing up, I was like, they must be eating some wild ass donuts over there. I get that. Okay, I'm seeing it, I guess. And then in Yu-Gi-Oh, because people had guns in Yu-Gi-Oh. Like Yu-Gi-Oh used to be like very violent, but they would not animate the guns. Right. So they would have the stupid finger guns. So they would like come in pointing at Kaiba. And I'm just like, what are y'all doing? Like, you don't have to freeze, hold it right there. Like, why are you pointing at them? Right. Oh, One Piece Red is the movie. Yeah, well, I don't know what the remake is called.
I think it's called One Piece. Where
no. One Piece is on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No. This is an actual. It's coming on Netflix. It's like One Piece.
Oh, you're talking about the One Piece.
Is that might be what it's called?
Yeah, they're remaking the whole thing, and I'm like,
making it better paced.
What's the point? Like, y'all already making money. Like, what? Why do
you make more money? Because too many people have said over the years, I'm not watching your show because the pacing is bad. I won't be sitting through 1,000 episodes of you doing a cloud pan for like 20 seconds. You know what I mean? So somebody saw the numbers from One Piece and said, look, we can get some money off of that. So that's all they're doing. It's pretty smart. I ain't gonna hold you. I do appreciate it.
I mean, I felt like the style of the original anime was so strong. All they have to do is recut it like Dragon Ball Z Kai, and it's fun. Like whenever
Dude,
they
someone told
reanimate
me.
something.
Go
Well,
ahead.
I was just about to say, just really quick. I was about to say, like, whenever they reanimate something, it always looks worse. Like, it always looks like they got the wrong animators or they put some novices on it, and then it's just like, man, this is not hitting the same way as the first time.
No, no, you're right. No, I didn't realize what the change was to like Dragon Ball Kai because I never was online.
Uh-huh.
So when it came out, I'm thinking like it was something new, and then I'm kind of like, oh, it's the same thing. Like it's going through the Sand Saga. The issue is for me, I didn't even realize that it was like a better paced Dragon Ball Z until we got to the like Frieza Saga. And we got to the Frieza Saga so fast, it spun my head. I'm like, damn, we're already here. It's only been about 3 weeks. How did we get here so fast? Like this is like a new episode every day, 7 days a week,
right.
And all of a sudden, bam, we're already like, oh, it's Frieza.
So you're talking about watching Kai for the first time?
Yeah, back because I didn't realize that it was a dice up.
Yeah. I was actually about to ask, like, what was the anime that was big for that inspired you to make your own stuff?
It depends on which one. If it's jazz, I really liked the like chaotic nature of Fooly Cooly.
Oh, nice, yeah.
And Paranoid Agent, like those two things were in my head while I was writing it. So, when you look at jazz and you get that feel of like this is kind of wacky, but it's going towards something like that. That's kind of where I was at. A lot of it right now is toned down because we're going into an arc with the main villain. But when it's not in that arc setting, it does what it does. But yeah, no. So for that one, that. But for this one might be a little bit embarrassing. But for Dream Match, originally it was Senran Kagura. But it wasn't for the reason that a lot of people, if you never heard of it, it's that Shinobi Ninja series. It's the one where it's like all the like high school girls and they're all part of like a ninja clan.
And I feel like I can't look that up on
no. Don't even he about to go. Oh yeah, keep the screen down. There you go.
Gonna do my own research. And
he's gonna incognito tab that one real quick. So so in the series, there you go. There it is right there in the chat for you, just for you. So in the series there are multiple clans, and when they fight, sometimes there's like wardrobe malfunctions.
Of course.
But that's not where Dream Match came from. It's the fact that when you look at the entire cast, every character has a specific personality that differs. There's so many people in that damn show, and you're like, how do they do that? Like that kind of style of writing for me is fascinating because like it's so hard to not typecast people to copy other people that you have, set in place. So when you have a cast of over 30 people, they have to stand out, and they all stand out. So that's where Dream Match kind of came in from. That's why it's on that graphic. But people will see it and think, oh, when they wrestle, they'll go topless. I'm like, damn it, that's not what it is. That's not why I did it.
Well, would you do that in the water and then ninja?
It's a little bit nippy.
All right. But I was about to ask, would you go that route with your comic if you saw that it was like more profitable?
Like I don't create. Well, if you so I could tell you've never seen Jazz, have you?
Oh no, I have.
Okay.
I bought Jazz too.
Yeah, okay. Well, So you understand what I'm doing.
Uh,
Would I go that route with Dream Match if I right now today, if I turn around and took down the campaign and told Ash we need to add like 17 nip slips right now,
oh my god.
and then we'll like reshoot tomorrow. If I put a new version of this book with everything I just said tomorrow, I would probably fund way more money in the first hour.
In the first
However,
hour, yeah.
however, would I like it? Would it make more profits? Sure. Am I here for profits? Not that much. I'm here for
Mm.
profits on a base scale, but not on a like astronomical. Like I need you guys to have your monkey brains hit so you could just give me more money for a product that
Mm.
I don't really feel good about.
Right. Like where you're putting the money before the
Yeah.
integrity of the work.
He said he don't want a Common America. I'm not gonna. I actually like Common America, but like I also will agree with you. I don't know much about Common America. Like I don't know anything of it. When I ask people about it, they will tell me things that are happening in the story, right? But
Mm.
at the same time, everything that happens in the story that they're talking about happens much later. So I look at their product and I can't tell what I'm looking at, but I'm supposed to just buy it. And like I want to buy it, but like I need to be able to be, fulfilled on a base story level that I don't think that they're pushing correctly. But why would they when they're making hand over fist doing what they do?
Right.
So
I
that is a
haven't
struggle.
yeah, I haven't read it much either. I tried to read it on what's it called, Webtoons, but I didn't get too far. I don't know what the
That's a whole
story is
different
about or
one.
anything.
No,
I'm sorry.
no, it's apparently the one on Webtoon is a whole different story.
Oh, really?
Suppose that's what somebody else told me. I don't know. I only know two big things about Common America. Yep, I do too.
Two big things about. That's crazy.
No, it's like it's not to badmouth them. Like some come in them, they're great for how they do their marketing and how they have like a
Mm.
whole Japanese audience and whatnot. And they're doing the damn thing. Like I'll give it to them, but on a customer level, I don't understand what I'm looking at. I know it's like a magical girl book,
Mm.
but like that's all I know. And I feel like that's not something that I want to ever have my works translated to. Of it looks nice and it's very enticing, but like I don't understand what I'm looking at. Like I would hate someone to come tell me that. And
Don't understand
that's
what you're
where I'm
looking
at.
at in terms of you don't know what kind of story it is, or you don't know what.
I don't know like what kind of story it is. Like I mean, it's just not communicated in a way that I can figure it out. But as I've
Versus
told people,
like
that's just me.
if it, like compared to Naruto, let's say you instantly know what Naruto is about, like because it's like with ninjas and whatnot. So then with Common America, it's harder to discern what that is for you.
Yeah, because so in Naruto, how they communicated is it's a young boy from a ninja village who wants to be
Mhm.
the Hokage. Like
Oh, okay,
boom,
I see what you're saying.
boom, bop, right? Boom. So
Right.
that means that everything that works in progression, now I get to watch in progression. When I look at
Uh-huh.
the descriptions, because number one, it's hard to get into Common America now because there's way too many volumes and omnibuses. Now I have to make a financial commitment. I can no longer just go buy the first one. Now I have to go buy the big book.
Uh-huh.
That's what happens when you wait. So when you look at how they do the product, I see the cover, I see the excitement, but I don't know what I'm getting into, and that's why I have
Uh-huh.
never bought one. I've right here. I've sat at the Common America Amazon listing for like a
Uh-huh.
week, and I'm like, I wish I could just buy it and make that investment, but something keeps stopping me every single time. And I don't know
Right.
if it's if it might just be a me thing. It might just be, it's there are so many variables. I don't
I
I
just
don't
don't
want to
have any
put blame
money.
on nobody. Well, there's okay, yeah. That if you wait long enough, you're gonna have to buy a triple omnibus, and then it's gonna be super expensive.
Right.
Yeah, see
So
right here, the webtoon is a spinoff. Yeah,
right. Yeah, I mean, just from the look of it, it just looks like a superhero type comic with maybe some sexual type content in there.
not see, but there's not. That's the funny part. It's not.
Oh, it's not, it doesn't have or it's not a superhero type thing?
No. So it's a magical girl story.
Oh, okay,
And it has
okay.
that dynamic. It has so a lot of the marketing is on the sexy side, but from people that
Right.
have read it, they told me that it's not in the book, and so I'm kind of like I wish I could just like I don't want to pay for it, but at the same time I need it. You know what I mean? Like I need that. Like I don't know. Like it's 50-50.
Would you be able to summarize it in the same way that you were able to do with Naruto? Like explain it in a way like Common America is about a girl who is trying to do what?
I would like them to. That'd be easier.
No, I mean, do you know enough about it to
Oh no, I don't. So everything that I know about it has been like third partied.
Oh, okay, okay.
So I haven't been able to make the financial hoop. Okay, but I'll tell you originally from the webtoon. I think that it's like a fashionista or like a fashion tycoon or something. She has like a alter ego, but because this is a spinoff to the bigger thing, I don't know if it's
Mhm.
like the same story or not.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know much about it either, but I do appreciate the marketing that they do on that book.
Oh, it's
Like
fantastic.
they're a crack team on that.
Yeah, no, it's I've been watching them for a while, and they have showcased to me that sometimes you just need to hit that neuron in that brain, and once you smack that neuron hard enough, people will go nuts. And I feel like there has to be gumption in the story. There is one guy, Mr. X on Twitter. He reads all the
Oh yeah.
time, so I might ask him about it because he's the one who kind of gave me some of the stuff, and I was like, I don't know what I'm looking at. So he might know. He's like a really
Right.
big fan of that.
Yeah, I've seen some every once in a while he'll do a post on where the story is at currently and all that.
Yeah, he just they all love it. I want to love it.
Nice.
I want to try it. I just don't. It's not pulling me there yet. It's almost doing it, but it's not there yet.
Right. Um, I wanted to ask about Dream Match and Jazz. How long are you planning to like? How long are those series going to be?
Jazz was supposed to be my longest one,
Mhm.
and due to some of our development, we might. I'm not gonna make that declaration, but we might turn around and redo a lot of it. So
Mhm.
far, we are going to redo chapter 0.
Okay, okay.
Ask me this question next year in March, and I'll probably have a much better answer because we're going to be finishing up chapter 3 early next year, and then
Uh-huh.
right after 3 is done, that's when I'll make a better decision on if we'll just redo or we'll just push on because over time you get like if and you're a writer and a creator, so
Mhm.
over time you start to learn better ways and learn how to do your stories better, and you learn how to do your dynamics better and your structure better over time. And so
Yeah.
I've learned that now I have this newfound wealth of knowledge that I wish to apply to this IP. I don't know if I can apply it where it's at, and I don't know if I want to wait to apply it to where it's at. So it's just kind of it's just me being impatient, honestly. But I at least want to like give people a full arc before I make that decision. So we're gonna wait.
Right.
But after 3 is when I'll make my choice. Dream Match is gonna be dramatically shorter.
Okay.
I was gonna make it like it's like own one volume because like each arc will be in one volume. But
All
I think I have it like 6 or 7 chapters, so it's gonna be shorter.
Nice. Yeah, I wanted to start with some like short stories and stuff like that to get my feet wet in writing, but it's just something about having that longer running project that really drives you to keep producing and whatnot.
No,
Yeah.
you're right. You're right. It's and that's originally I was supposed to have Jazz at like 3 volumes, like 3 whole volumes, and just be done with it.
Uh-huh.
And at the time, I was like, I'm not the person who I was when I first said that. Like, I'm a totally different person now. But at the time, I had this like really big, like convoluted story because I was pulling from like so. Jazz is more of a mixture between Western comic book storytelling and then like manga storytelling. Dream Match Revolution is 100% just straight Japanese storytelling style.
Right.
And the more that I lean into the Japanese storytelling, the more I realize, like, hey, you know what? Sometimes keep it simple, stupid, just works out. Because trying to come around and make all these big reveals and all these deep meanings and these impactful, sometimes you get lost on what makes your thing good. And I might be getting in that direction. So it's me just trying to figure out how do I pull back on the brake before we hit this wall. Or maybe I could just build the wall away from the wall so that we don't hit it.
I see what you're saying. Like you're using Dream Match as a way to tell a shorter form story that will allow you to learn more about just telling a simple narrative rather than getting really convoluted and complex with a longer form story, right?
Yeah. No, Dream Match is literally, if you want to do a short summary, it's about a rookie wrestler who does everything in her power to get the one thing she wants, which is a match with her idol. That's it.
Right.
When you look at Jazz's form is about it's about anti-government. It's about a group of 5 people who are trying to uncover a mystery of portals that happen over their cities. Short, right? Well, there's a lot of nuance behind that because what I'm doing now is that I'm trying to like uncover this really deep like government plot in Jazz, and in doing so, some of the steam that I had, I've lost, and I have this like newfound thing of like, oh, this would have been good here. This would have been good here. We could tweak this, and all of a sudden, I have a whole new project that's not what I was. So I should either go back to my old way, or reapply it. And it's not. I'm not the only one who's ever done that and been in this situation. I'm probably the only ones who will sit here and tell you outright, like, yeah, this is how I'm thinking. So Jazz will end up being what it is. It's still my baby. Which is why I'm not gonna go and like throw it away and be like, nah, nope. But
right.
And it's just me trying to improve because one of the things I don't want to make stories and just throw them at the wall just to go see what sticks. Like everything I do, I want to give you progression. It's like, hey, do you love chapter 0? Here's 1. You like 1? Here's 2. Are you feeling 2? Here's 3. Like things like that. Most people in my position would go, I'm not really feeling that right now. Let's go do a different one. All right, now let's go do a different one. And then they'll come back a year or so later and give you 2 of a story that you started 2 years ago. And it's like, that's not what I want to do. So yeah, it's stressful sometimes.
Yeah, it is. Because I know what you mean. Like, it's like you want to do a different story, or you want to level up by doing a different story, but you still have this main thing that people have already shown some interest in, but you have to kind of put that on the back burner while you gain the skills to be able to tell that story.
Yeah, yeah, and it's just so. But I will say that after Dream Match, there is a new IP coming out called Good Blood Money, and that's going
Good
to be
blood
my
money.
Good Blood Money.
Mhm.
That's going to be my foray into a more violent story, a more bloody, more sexually charged, mature story. So that's going to be my actual
Okay.
like entry, into it, just to go see, like, is my range good? Like, I'm not going to jump around and be like, let's go do a isekai. All right, cool. Now let's go do a shonen. Like, no, like let me just see in this realm, can I do what I'm doing?
Right. Nice. So we're coming up to that time now, man. Let me see. Yoshi Hiroda says the way Ash, I think Vice 2 uses neon colors without being eye searing is insane. Yeah. Yeah, it works really well.
Well, speaking on that, she Yoshi, because Yoshi is my dog.
Mhm.
She didn't even tell me that she was gonna do this code scheme. Sometimes Ash and I will have a plan on how we do things, and then
Uh,
there are days where she'll just like run up on me and be like, "You know what? How does this look?" And I'll be like, "Damn, that took all day to do, but it's also really good. So yes, let's go do
mhm.
this now."
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice having that collaboration element in drawing. Um what's the best part about collaboration, and then what's the hardest part about it?
Well, shit, I could probably just use Jazz as the best and the worst because Jazz Chapter Zero was done by um uh Villanueva,
Yeah, it was a
another
different
artist.
artist. Uh-huh.
Yeah, and then Ash, the one who picked up one.
Right.
The best, like when you get a good artist, and or not even artist, when you get somebody who can enhance what you do, and vice versa, that's
Mhm.
when the like collaboration goes crazy. There has never been a a downtime moment with working with Ash and with many people that have worked with me on a project that like I have the same passion for. We've never like butted heads on it. I'm always fair. We always come in the middle. Sometimes I'll just follow you. Um, I wrote and created Dream Match Revolution, and a lot of the things added to the story, to the pages, are things that Ash has added, not without me not knowing about it.
Mm.
But it's like, so there are things that like I can see, and there are things that she can see, and so she'll look and go, "This would look great here," and I'm like, you know what, you're right. So greatest part about collaboration is that.
Nice.
The worst parts about collaboration is when you have people that have like ulterior motives.
Mhm.
When they work with you, they'll work with you, but they're not working with you. They might be working, and then they might be kind of putting things to their own devices
Mhm.
right in front of you, and you kind of just either you recognize it or you don't. So it's better to work with people that you know on a semi deep level than just going into business with people who are good at business and you don't
Right.
even know them. Like, you just know the people that you know to work with, and not everybody is your friend.
Right. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Cuz I do all my stuff by myself, but uh every once in a while I'll work with somebody to do like flats or colors. It's not as deep as when you're writing something and you need the artist to really like take what you got and run with it. I can imagine that's stressful because you're trying to find the right person, the right artist to carry your idea. And how do you feel like Ash Kohari is doing with the ideas that you're giving her on Jazz and Dream Match?
I told you earlier that I work very well with writing women in multifaceted ways. Ash's style is predominantly women.
Mm-hmm.
So we just kind of clicked right there, and we just accent each other. It's all about finding that fit. It's also about finding somebody who shares your goals, because you could help each other,
right?
And it's like it's so elementary that I have to say that, but apparently people need to hear it sometimes, and that's what makes people understand that they might be in a bad situation, or they could be in a better one.
Right. Nice.
Also, we're at 1,000. Yep, man.
Nice.
I need to go beg online for just $50 more.
Yeah. Let me see. Yeah,
just first day funds are pretty cool, but I'm not really focused on it really this time around.
Nice, but you're almost there. You got it. Yeah, that's dope, man. It seemed like at some point along the line you finally like hit your market, and then you just kind of locked in from that point on. When do you think that really happened?
I don't think I really hit a market yet.
Really?
Honestly, like everybody else will tell me that, and I'll look around and go, "Where are you seeing this market?" Trust me, if I could find, there was a year. It was a whole year, 365 days. I had a female market, and I don't know where they came from. It was all women.
Oh, wow.
So I started trying to do more predominant, like women-based things, like women targeting things, and by things, it was like, okay, well, women like stronger characters that don't have like underhanded tones, right? Sure, I'll try that out. And all of a sudden, it just flipped, and now I have an all male, reader base. And I'm like, where did y'all come from? Like, what happened to the ladies? So, and I don't mind writing things that happen to have a like male audience or a female. It's however, whenever I will give you what I can, the best way I can. But I don't really think I have an audience. I think people buy into what I put out because they may like the synergy. Because like whenever me and Ash get around on like YouTube lives or on like Twitter Spaces, people get to see us how we talk in private. Like we don't have a mask. Like what you hear, because like both of us are goofy. So what you hear is exactly how it is when we're in our Discord chats talking about, yeah, man, today's Taco Tuesday, and then she'd be like, "Fool, it's Wednesday," and I'm like, "It's Taco Tuesday on Wednesday. I don't care." It's shit like that, I think people just like us, and I think people like how we communicate what we do.
Mm-hmm.
People buy into what we make because it makes them feel like they're a part of whatever this is. But I don't really think I have a audience, at least not established yet.
Right.
It takes time. It's kind of like Air Rider. Air Rider doesn't have an audience yet.
Yeah,
but it can. Oh, you're doing what I'm doing. You're doing the exact same thing that I'm doing, where you're trying to figure it out over time, and you will never know your audience base until you go like live in person and talk to people and actually see people look at your stuff and have their pupils dilate right in front of you. Like that's when you figure it out.
Yeah, on that note, whenever I go to conventions, the the people who actually buy the most of Air Rider are Mexicans or Hispanic people. They're the ones coming up to my table the most, engaging with it, and then actually buying, like spending money on the work. So it's usually Hispanic people, and I think it's because it looks so it has that cartoonish style that harkens back to Dragon Ball Z a little bit in some way, or like old school like anime and manga and all that. So they associate it with that stuff, and they're just like, all right, I want more of that. Let me spend some money on this comic. So that's who I notice is the number one demographic that is into Air Rider.
Well, hold on. Well, for starters, Arcader said a good or attractive personality can go a long way. I thought that said like attractive person. I misread that. I was going to be like, well, thank you. I do appreciate that. So let me tell you right now, with most Mexican audiences, they really do love and appreciate minorities making comic books in a field that may not be tied to their nationality or minority. So when they see you and they see your style, or they may see your like story style or whatever, they just tend to gravitate towards it. I don't know if you're wearing like a dashiki when you go out. I don't know what it is. No, that's not a bad thing. Like having a whole like minority group buy your stuff is great, because then you can just tether to that minority group over time, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's El Hell Rider, like yeah, I'm laughing, you're laughing. All of a sudden we got statues of this man in the middle of a football field over there, and it's like, damn, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's just about playing to it, but also just being genuine helps out too. Where are you in where are you at?
I'm out in Texas.
Okay, you should have to said that anyway. They have a Mexican population. Like that's the first thing you should have said. of course you have Mexican fan base. Yeah. You're in Texas.
Yeah, but at conventions, like all types will show up. So like black people, white people, and whatnot. Some will just come to the table and they'll look at it. They'll be like, "Oh yeah, okay, cool," but then they'll just walk away. I get mostly Hispanic guys. Almost no women. Every once in a while, there'll be a black girl that will come up and buy something off the table, but it's not. And sometimes a white guy will come and buy
just one white gentleman.
A single white guy.
He'll show up and say, "Hey, I'm here for my 5 o'clock."
Yeah.
No, that's because I mean, like for all the times that I've done a pop up for jazz, I could never figure out like the demographic, because where I live at, it's a pretty decent mix. So people will just slide in and they'll just see me in my big smiley black man face, and they'll clutch their wallet or their purse, but then they'll buy from me. So I don't know.
Oh, nice.
It varies. Someone Arcader says similar to Black Sands. I've never seen Black Sands do anything outside of the internet at all. At all. Never have. Never ever have.
Yeah, I don't know what they do outside of the internet, but I've seen their stuff all over. Like I think they're the ones doing that like ancient Egypt type story. I'm sorry?
Still?
Oh, I don't even know. That's what I've seen of their work. And I think that's why it's called Black Sands or whatever.
You guys are gonna make me say something crazy.
What was I about to say? Yeah, with finding the demographic, let me see. I'm just trying to hit like that.
It is also much easier.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Just really quick, I was gonna say, like, in the second campaign, or in like I'm on my second campaign of the same issue. That's when you really I've heard that's when you really find out who's actually interested in your comic, because it's not it's not your friends and family coming out to support you anymore. It's actual people who are really interested in seeing what you're doing, and a little mix of friends and family, but mostly people who actually want to spend money on the book.
Yeah, it is. When I did, and I had the audacity to do chapter 0, then 1, then 2. No, I'm lying because 0 was all by itself.
Mhm.
But chapter 1 I made about 3.5, and I had about
Uh-huh.
122 backers.
Uh-huh.
On Jazz 3 or Jazz 2, I had like 132 backers, but I made less money. So I had more backers
Mhm.
that were buying in, that were like brand new, but I had made like $400, like, less money.
Right.
So you have to figure out, are you in here for the following, or are you in here for the money? Because
Right.
sometimes they don't go hand in hand.
Yeah. Like you can have a big Instagram or Facebook following or whatever, and then you try to sell your stuff, and then nobody really shows up.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you're as I've seen that happen to a whole lot of people, because they have this, like, mentality that the people who follow me for a reason, and they like me, so they're gonna go automatically buy whatever I have. And it's like, unless you have a market that they can get access to, no, they won't automatically just buy whatever you make.
Right.
That's like a really dumb thing to like assume, and that's
Right.
what people still think. So
Yeah, it's like one thing that I'm worried about, like in the back of my head, is that I could be spending all this time on Air Rider, or spending all this time drawing Air Rider, when if I were to do a different story, I would make a story that clicks with people a lot more, but it's something I'm not passionate about doing. And then I'd have to put Air Rider on the back burner to make money at this thing that automatically clicks with people, if that makes sense. Like um with mangakas, they usually do like several short stories before they approach a longer story.
yeah,
And um then after that longer story is finished or canceled, then they make the story that actually blows up and turns into that big hit that everyone likes, because they figured out how to tell stories from doing all those practice runs and doing all the shorter versions. Like I'm thinking of specifically Tatsuki Fujimoto with Chainsaw Man, because he had Fire Punch before Chainsaw Man, and then before that was a bunch of one shots and
yeah.
whatnot. And same
Oh,
thing with My Hero Horikoshi Kohei.
right. No, yeah, no. It's you. You don't. I mean, like, you don't have a bad premise to where you should be making like a lot more, because like you're
Mhm.
like, very your very first book and your premise is about a school shooter, or sorry, a school shooter's son,
Mhm.
and going back to the school that that his dad shot up, which, as I remember, leaves behind like tormented monsters or whatever, based off of the conjecture of his actions back then.
Uh-huh.
I don't like that premise alone is why I even followed you. Like, I was like,
Oh
who
yeah, I
the hell
remember that.
does? Yeah, I remember being so mad. I was like, who would do that? Like, what the fuck? And then I just followed
Right.
you because I was like, this guy must be on some bull. I need to get on this.
Right. Yeah, it was I was trying to make it a redemption story. Like he's not the shooter, but he, through whatever circumstance, he ends up going to the school where his dad shot up years ago, and now he has to pick up the pieces and clean up the mess that his father made. So that's the premise of it. And I thought maybe that's what's the word,
Too
gripping
hard for them
enough.
to realize it.
No, I thought maybe that's gripping enough for people to be interested in the story. Because whenever I tell people at conventions,
It
people
works.
are like, "Whoa!" Like their eyes widen. They're like, "Whoa, that's crazy."
Right.
Um,
I don't understand why it's not like. 'Cause I thought you were going to be flying off. I still think you would. You just have to kind of like, you know, um, get it in a marketable fashion so that people that would get it, get it, can see it. Someone just
Yeah,
asked, "How does making comics on Kickstarter work?" Just some girl with a mustache.
right. Yeah, it's just you make the comic in real life and hope for the best. You put it up and
Oh
hope for the best.
man, you won't tell the damn secrets or nothing. You just gonna leave it the way it is, huh?
No, man, I use this program called well, it's not a program, but it's like a course called Comics Launch. And basically I just built a what's the word? Like a email list and all that stuff to get the promotion wheel going. And I just followed their thing step by step to get my campaign up and running.
I got you. So you still won't tell the secrets, huh?
No, man, I can't go into it that deep
Yeah,
in
you
like
you just
10 minutes.
do you remember so one of my favorite scenes in Men in Black, which they might not have in Texas, but in the movie Men in Black, um, there was a
They
scene
don't have
where now you now Jay is in that room with the other like military officials, and
Mhm.
Rip Torn's character asks, why are you guys here? And the dude stands up and is like, because we're the best of the best of the best. And Jay's talking and laughing, and they're like, what's so funny? He's like, dude, this dude just stood up and was like, we're here because we're the best of the best of the best. And he's just very enthusiastic and excited, but he has no idea why we're here.
Mm.
That's the kind of notion that I have with what you just said. Because, like, yes, getting an email list and everything is fine and dandy.
Mhm.
You have to kiss some ass. Let's just leave it on the table right now.
What do you mean?
You're going to so if you want to get um, a big enough following,
Mm.
there are multiple ways to do it. One of the ways that I've seen is that you're gonna have to get good with other bigger people to spot you,
Mhm.
and you're gonna have to kiss some ass.
Right.
Now,
Uh,
mind you, I didn't say that was the only way. I just said that was a way.
right.
You just was
Um,
like, you get an email list. Well, I mean, yeah, no, email list is fine and dandy, but like if you're small, you
mhm.
will never get a big enough email list on your own. You're gonna have to crunch some numbers, kiss some ass, kiss some babies, do some office assistant work, if you know what I mean.
The way I do it is usually like when I go to a convention, I'll leave a paper out with a pen, and then people can put their email on there. Um, and then I have it on my what do you call it? My launch page where people can sign up. And I'm already getting like I always get signups because you can read chapter 1 and 2 for free on my email list. So there's always like little things that I can do to promote it and get people on there, and then I use the email list to promote the comic on there. And that's not the only part of the promotion process. That's just a major part of it, because on social media you can be blasting out your stuff all day and nobody's gonna see it. Like
Yeah,
maybe 1% of your audience will see it, even if you have like 500, 700 people on there. But if you have uh maybe 200 people on your email list, 99% or at least 50% of the people on that list will see anything that you post on their email, because everyone checks their email at least every day. So they'll be able to see it more than on a public social media feed where they might see your thing and then just scroll past to get to the next thing. um so that's why I have that set up. And I think instead of like just kissing ass, it's a factor of time. Like over time you'll just get more and more people to gather around the thing that you're doing, and eventually a lot of people would just drop off from the race or the competition where you're the only one left doing what you're doing because everyone else stopped doing it at some point.
Not to act like I was listening to you, but I go back. You want to check out the Dream Match page?
Yeah. Oh, nice. Hey, you made it.
I just looked down, like I was like, oh wow.
Dope.
Oh man, that's
was there
now
a
we gotta
graphic or something?
No, it only happens when you finish.
When it's over. Yeah, right. Okay.
I bet you I have something on my email that's like you funded, but I'll check it later.
Yeah.
I just meant how Kickstarter works in general. Oh, okay. So well, he was spitting. Also, Arcader said white manga. I'm gonna say right now, he blocked me on Twitter.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why.
What'd you say to him?
okay. So it's not what I said.
Oh my goodness!
It was him, and I'll make this quick. So him and Fred don't like Seiji and don't like Muzi. And me and I was in a video with them 2 times. We were like Seiji? It was like with Seiji and Muzi. We were talking about like basic stuff that was like going on. Like I think it was about the Latina. Do you remember that?
Latina? No.
It was a manga where the main character was just named Latina because he went on Google Google AI and was like, what is the most like Hispanic name for a woman? And it came back Latina. so he named the character so it came back to us, and it wasn't like an indie person, it was a big person. It was an actual like published person. So it came back to us and we was like, ew. So we did a video about it. And I don't know if that video had gotten weaponized or not, but I feel like something had happened somewhere. I don't know what it was, but I had got a notification on a tweet that I had made to White like years ago, and I went to go look at it, and I couldn't see a tweet. So I was like, "What the hell?" So I go type his name in. There it goes. I go look. I'm blocked.
Dang.
I've never said nothing to him. I think he just assumed that I was just a part of the ilk of, because they don't, they don't like anybody. Like Saturday AM does not like nobody. Because they ran themselves, into a hole last year. So they're kind of like, doing whatever. That shit was so hilarious. It was entirely funny about that damn name.
The Monitor comic stuff from last year.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So after that, Saturday AM has been kind of like, just running on whatever gas they have right now. I hope they can turn back around at some point. I'm saying hope with quotations. You can't see it because my camera's off. But considering you boys be chilling with, let's not build. Oh yeah.
Right.
Let's not be surprised.
Yeah. It's Saturday AM. I was always thinking about like maybe submitting. Not recently, but like back when it was first starting off. But then it started calling itself like the world's most diverse manga company. I was just like, I don't want to be associated with that kind of typecasting, to where if the point of your stories is to be diverse and not quality stories, then I don't know if what I'm gonna get from that magazine is gonna be of quality. And I've read Clock Striker with the girl with the black girl with the power, and it's actually really good. But I was hesitant about it just because it had that label on it, diverse, and I was just like, oh man, this is gonna be bad. But then it actually turned out to be really good, and I was just like, you don't need that label to describe your company. And and that turned me off from ever like submitting to them. So I felt like I just need to go on my own, at least at the start.
I did submit to them last year.
Oh, you did?
I did. I went all the way to the second round.
Was it a competition or something?
No, he was what they were doing was like a one shot program, and I just submitted, and they moved me to the second round, and I couldn't argue that my story didn't have to be tied to jazz, because it was like a jazz adjacent story, but it was like a prequel, and I probably should never have like submitted that whole idea, but the fact that they put me in like the second round was like pretty cool, I guess. After the monitor thing, that's when I kind of was like, black people.
So his name is Tony.
Yeah. So I was like, I don't know. So yeah, it got like pretty crispy. So and I was trying, that was back when I was like a blogger. So I was trying to like get comments from like anybody from Saturday AM. They wouldn't talk to me. I tried to talk to Monitor. Monitor was like, everything I've said is kind of out in the open. I don't talk about it. And I got nothing back. But
right.
It's sad because like I have a shelf of manga, and I used to be kind of a champion for Saturday AM, and I bought their books. Like I bought the shit back when they were like, our manga is in Walmart, and I was like, oh shit, it's in Walmart. And I was one of the people who never understood distribution. So I'm thinking, if it's in Walmart, Walmart must be asking them to shelf it. That's how that works. So little did I know. Did you know that you can literally put anything in Walmart? Because Walmart itself is not a store, it's a warehouse. Like, did you know that?
No.
You can literally submit to have something stocked, and you have to pay. So what they did is that they paid for it.
Oh, they paid to have it stocked?
Yeah, because if you go in there right now, it's not on the shelves anymore. So they were doing something where they were paying for it to be stocked. And then they were like, we're on Walmart, guys, go look. And of course I ran over there and was like, oh shit.
Yeah, that's where I got Apple Black.
Yeah, so one of these days, and it's gonna still create like animosity, but like one of these days I want to go over some of the books I got, because not all their stories are great, but all their like semi like great stories, they don't market enough, but they keep marketing the Hammer. And
Hammer, I forget what it's called.
I have it, Hammer, whatever. I don't. Jay also blocked me too, but like I don't like that. I don't like that story that much. I feel like it might get better in like the second volume, but it's not a great first volume. The Yellow Stringer is great. It's fantastic. Clock Striker. I don't have volume 2. But I didn't hate volume 1. And it's a struggle, because I'm like, how does somebody who like as a human, I'm like, I don't know, but like he wrote the story and it's like, it's doable, it's passable, I like it.
Yeah, I thought Clock Striker chapter 1 was really strong, but I didn't read beyond that.
The whole thing. No, so it does suffer from the stupid diversity first thing. It suffers a lot because people read it as a way to like get back against the like imaginary enemies of anti-diversity. I guess, I don't know. But if it didn't have that moniker, it would be a much better book, honestly.
Like
Apple Black is different. I don't know about that one. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
If it didn't have the moniker, it would be better or worse.
If it didn't have it, it would be better, because now you're not watching, or now you're not reading this manga for the like for like the black girl focus. Now you're reading it as its whole entire story. Like, should we expose that on Twitter? I have hell no. I mean, half the damn team done already blocked me, so it don't matter, I guess. No,
Yeah.
I don't got nothing for them. I got named for them. I honestly, even though given the accusations against them, I hope that they're false accusations and that they're able to like turn it around socially. But
Uh-huh.
um, when you use your main like Twitter page to like talk about like the haters and you call
Mm,
them the haters all the it's like I
right.
don't know. That's not my favorite thing, but I get it. I get
Y-
it.
Yeah, it's really hard to these days to get with a company or a publishing house because they're also active on Twitter, and so then they become a representative for the artists that work there. And then if the main guy isn't a good representative, then you're kind of screwed because it's like now they're speaking on your behalf in some cases, and you're just like, why did he say that? I'm just trying to promote my book. And then now you got to be embroiled in all this stuff. You got to be tied to somebody else and their like political views and whatnot. And you just want to make comics and publish it, but then you also got to be tied into all this other stuff, so it's like it's kind of difficult, and that's why I try to stay away from all that.
Yeah, no, being self-published. I mean, there's like pros and cons of being self-published,
Yeah,
and one of the pros is that like you are your own PR. So if
right.
you manage yourself pretty well, you'll have a great time. If you don't, then you should probably find someone who can take your password from you.
Yeah,
I mean, you might need help, you know?
yeah, there's a couple of people I'm trying to emulate in terms of doing like comics and web comics and whatnot. There's what's her name, Starfish Face, who does like this comic called Cast Off. And then there's Vivid. They do this comic called Dream Keepers. And both of them are like web comic artists where they like in the classic sense before webtoons came out, where they draw um like a few pages per week and post it up on their own website, and they have a YouTube channel and do a mixture of all that stuff, but they're fully self-published and they're fully making money on their own work. Like they don't have to sign up with any publishing house. They just do their own stuff. And I want to be able to do that, but even just now, like doing it now is like it's difficult because I have a day job, and then it kind of gets in the way, and then I come home and I'm like, man, I don't have any energy, but I gotta still do something. I gotta market or all that stuff. It's hard to do it on your own.
Oh, it's super hard. Let me ask. So you've asked me a question. Let me ask you a question.
But
Do you want to make comic book creating a full-time job?
yes, absolutely.
Okay, so that's a difference between you and me.
Mm. Would you say that you fund like your creations through from your day job?
I do, yeah.
Okay. And you do you like your day job enough to like I just want to do comics on the side and not make it into a full-time thing.
I no, I don't, but it's like it's one of those jobs that provides what I need for myself and my family, and
Right.
so it's one of those you like it for the perks. Um,
Mhm.
there's also pros and cons of that. Um, I don't if I was ever given a shot to do this full time,
Uh-huh.
I don't think I could never do it full time by myself. I would have to do it full time under a publisher. Something that
Okay.
I'm absolutely like anti, like I do not want a publisher at all.
Oh,
Um
really?
I
Because they would
don't.
tell you to they would control the work too much?
A little bit of that. So I'm the kind of person like everything that I told you that I'm doing
Mhm.
between Good Blood Money, Jazz, Dream Match are things that I just was able to put from A to B. I connected all the dots for it. And so
Uh-huh.
for me telling you that, you're like, okay, well, you seem very organized and orchestrated to be able to maintain and keep a function. I
Mhm.
am actually the opposite. I am frazzle brained with a lot of the shit I do and say.
Mhm.
So I cannot be held accountable or in this state to be able to do this full time and to keep up. So I would need to find someone to do all of the legwork for me so that
Right.
I could just work on one thing. But unfortunately, with that comes creative control. I might have to write something I don't want to write.
Mm.
There was a story, and I feel bad, but there was somebody who came to me and was like, "I like your style of writing. We should do this story." And the story that he's an artist, and
Uh-huh.
the story that he had presented was like fantastic. Like it was a decent. It was like a piratey One Piece type thing. It
Oh, cool.
was fantastic. It was fine,
Mhm.
but I didn't have a passion for it, and I felt like
Right.
if I did it, I would half-ass it. He might like it. I might
Mm.
hate it because it's something I half-assed. And whenever I and people think that like half-assing is when you're like doing the most lazy A to B thing and then being like low energy, it's done. I can now put it behind me.
Right.
If I have to force myself to write something, it's gonna kill me. So everything that I've ever written has been something that is from me, from the soul. I have to enjoy it. And
Mm.
I feel like I'm not the only one. But like
Right.
I just can't be told like, hey, today you're gonna write this, and I'm gonna be like, well, I don't have an interest in that. Now I have to go do the legwork to go find out all the things about it, and you know, I don't want to do it. Well,
Right. Like it would just be another job at that point, just something you're
boom.
doing to.
So
Mhm.
you figured it out. There's a full circle that I do not want to be a part of.
Right. So that's why you don't want to go full time in making comics?
Yeah, I it's like if it would be so much. I mean, honestly, it'd be different if I had a if I had an audience base that was vast enough to just relish in the things that I already have
Mhm.
and the stories I already have. That's a little bit different. But like you really have to figure out what they want because they don't know what they want. I'll tell you right now, readers do not know what they want. Readers will come on social media and then they will talk to artists and talk to creators and be like, I wish we could have XYZ. And they don't have a writer background or a creative bone in their body, but they think they know they want this thing and they don't want it.
Uh-huh.
And we know that because it sounds stupid as shit if we do it. So sometimes you have to let them just talk crazy and they give them whatever, and then they'll tell themselves, this is what I wanted. But it's like I just couldn't do it. As you stated, it's just not it's not in me without someone doing the legwork full time.
Right. Yeah, I've known people, I've known friends who have gone full time with it, and I think the thing that they miss the most is working and talking with other people, because when they're just doing their stuff on their own, like they don't really have a sense of progression because it's just they do the same thing like clockwork every day. But I feel like I want to at least experience what it's like to set my own schedule and just make enough money from what I'm doing so that I can just focus on writing and drawing and keeping that going, and then doing the marketing whenever I need to and all that. If I can find a way, I think the only way that would work for me in that sense is just developing that over time. I thought I could get it done in like 2 years, and then I would just be sitting pretty and drawing whatever I want um in a couple of years. But I think it's going to be more like a decade before I can just start working on it by myself and not have to um go to a day job anymore.
Oh man, no, you it's not about going away from a day job. It's just changing your day job.
Oh, is that what you would do in your case?
Yeah, because if I was like, let me transfer this to a day job. Well, you're still
Mhm.
doing a day job.
Oh,
Um,
right,
yeah,
yeah. Like you'd still be doing the comics and the marketing as the day job instead of the your actual day job.
right.
Right. Yeah. Because it would just be an actual like it would just be actual work at that point. Um
Which it is now. But you know,
yeah.
I would I'm if I were to make this full time, it would have to be on my own merit and on my own style of it. And
Right.
I don't think that the style that I would like to do it in is viable.
Right. That would make enough money to live off of and whatnot.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's definitely not something viable yet. But like you give it time and you chip at it because a lot of the things that we're talking about are not things that can be done in like 24 hours.
Right. Right. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
You gotta like prove to people that you can commit and you can be consistent. Like I've always told people, if your story is never good or it's not like the best thing that people are jumping on, but you are consistent about it. Sometimes being consistent can outdo a bad story, and that might just be all that people need. Like like stop trying to do better, just keep doing bad.
Right. Yeah.
Like it's bad, but like it's just being consistent is sometimes much better than going back to the drawing board, especially at certain stages of your creative life.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I needed to hear that because it's just like sometimes just you're still the only one like coming back over and over, and you're coming back at the same time every week. And I think the digital world or the internet really values consistency, whether regardless of uh quality. Like you said, it's like, oh, this guy just keeps going, keeps putting it out. So I guess he's really serious about it. And then Yoshi Hirota, he says, yeah, imagine being able to do nothing but draw, the company handling all the PR and busy work. But that's literally what a mangaka is, and their lives are hell. So it's like
Oh man, you said the right shit just then. Yes, and too many people want to be like these people, and I'm like,
yeah.
are you paying attention? Like all the Tagashi just came out of a how many year hiatus?
Oh man.
Like in what was it? It was health related. Like all these people
Yeah.
are like high fiving all these creators, and then like Oda is about to do a 3-year hiatus. I don't know how long his is going to be, but it's
It's
like
usually
no,
like a couple weeks at a time.
yeah, but like if you look at his actual 1,033 chapter career, he's taken like how many breaks? And when you put the number of days away on his breaks for like 27 years, that's not adequate. That's not something that I could ever do.
Yeah. Yeah. I realized that one day. I was just like, you know what? I'm just getting a sense of what they're going through from looking at their schedules that they post online, or hearing all the horror stories about like people's backs getting hurt, or people not being able to draw anymore for whatever reason. And the glamorous part of it is looking at the manga and thinking, oh, this manga is so awesome, or this manga is so great. But then you don't see all the painstaking work that goes into putting this out every week. Some people get married and divorced in the course of doing their own story in the manga, and then it's like they got divorced because they weren't able to see their wife or their hang out with their kid because they just didn't have that time. And it's like maybe it's not so glamorous, or it's not so amazing to be able to just draw your own work and have an outside entity do all the marketing for you, because it's there's trade-offs that come with it. You have to be a machine putting all that stuff out.
Yeah, and you sometimes don't even make the money back.
Right.
That's like a much bigger thing is when you look at all these accolades and what these stories did to inspire people, and that person's like, oh, I'm so glad that you enjoyed my manga that I've been doing for like the last 15 years. I'm still living at home though. Like I'm still living with mom, but it's whatever. We'll just call it Japanese culture and just ha 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 about it.
I think that's if the manga doesn't blow up. Like you can be doing that and struggling with it with like Horikoshi Kohei's first couple of works didn't really blow up, but he was still working hard at it, It's just that it didn't really make, like you said, it didn't make its money back. It was only until like My Hero that it really blew up and allowed him to keep going. And I think more often than not, we're just looking at the success stories rather than the difficult behind the scenes stories that don't pan out. And Yoshihiro says, "Bro, I want to slave away for Shueisha. I realize it's not healthy, but that's my personal goal. Actually, I want to see like if you have a YouTube channel or on Twitter, I want to see your work and like see how you're progressing towards that, because that's a goal that I used to have when I was younger, like way younger. And yeah, I was in high school thinking like, man, I'm gonna go work at Shueisha. I'm gonna learn Japanese and do all that stuff, but it just never worked out. It never panned out, and I was just like, all right, I gotta just do what I'm made to do. Does that make sense?
No. No,
Like,
you don't ever do what you're made to do. You do what's necessary, and sometimes it's not what you're made to do.
Dang, I didn't even look at it that way. But is that how you feel like you've lived life so far?
No, it's something that I've just started like really putting together in the last couple of years. For me personally, it's people think that you just kind of do enough, and like that's it. But sometimes doing enough is just not enough, and you're gonna have to give up some more. And you might have to do something that you ain't never done to get what you ain't never had.
Would you say that mindset has changed, or would you say you got that mindset from having a family and raising them?
No, I mean yeah, but it's when you factor in like the energy that you, because like as you get older, you lose energy. You don't. I used to get off work and be like, hell yeah, it's time to go out here. I'm about to go out here. Yeah. And of course, that was like years ago, like in my like early 20s. But over time, you don't have that much energy, so you have to figure out how much where are you going to put it at, put the rest of it at, and who's it going to be with, and and that also goes into when you start doing the work. It's like, well, how much energy do I have for this thing that I want, and do I want it as bad, and do I have that will? Look at that full circle going right back to Dream Match. Do you have the will to get what you need? And if you ain't got it, you wasn't worth a damn.
Right.
So be worth a damn.
Yeah. And I think having that will, this is what I was thinking, like, and I've been like formulating this thought for a while, is I think there's a point where when you're young, you have that time to be able to put all your energy into making comics and trying to develop a career and whatnot. And if you don't, it's almost like a race to get to being that full-time artist, if that's your goal. And if you don't make it to that point by a certain time in life, then it's like that opportunity is gone, to where, or it's just difficult to get to that point where you're making the art full time and that's the only thing you do. And that's the point I'm trying to get to, but it's difficult. Like it's difficult to put in the time or find the time when you're moved out of your parents' place and you're making your own money, or you're raising a family. It's difficult to find that time to generate that.
Well, like, so a lot of people put this onus that by a certain time of their life or a certain period of their life, they should be somewhere, not realizing that a lot of your favorites started late in their lives. So you don't, like, honestly, do you really think 20-something-year-old you has the, like, maturity level and education to do anything big?
Not even a little bit.
No, but you just gave him all of the responsibility for something that you just said he couldn't do. sometimes like, you know, people assume like, well, you know, in my 20s I should do this, and in my, it's people. Stan Lee didn't get into shit so he was what, 50, 60 years old. Like Oprah Winfrey didn't get into her shit until she was well off in her 40s. So you have to look at your experience and your time. Just because you didn't peak and get anything in your 20s and, you know, whatever, because you're not generating anything like a TikTok star, does not mean that you don't have any type of value as you get older. As you get older, you have more value. So, like, you know, people have this notion of, it might be too late for me, I don't know if I can do it later. Yes, as long as you are learning now for later, then you can do it later, as long as you're learning. But that like learning part is really important. So don't ever feel like you gotta be a certain age to do something. Just do it. You know, Walt Disney and them was some cats, man. They was not spry when they really started popping off. You know what I mean? So it's just, you know, keep that mindset, and it adds vitality to you. You know, in the long run, and y'all need it, people need the vitality in any which way.
Yeah, that's a really good point to end on, because it was the same with the guy who wrote The War of Art, Stephen Pressfield. He was like 57 before he popped off as a writer, and made you know, just got in the mainstream and whatnot.
Am I going to be mad if 10 years from now some story that I made 8 years from now does well, and now jazz and everything is like far in the back, and it's like, oh man, if only I had all this time? No, I'm gonna be cool as shit, because I was able to impart all the knowledge and experience from doing what I did that wasn't successful into something that is. So it's just a whole process.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice. Well, thank you for coming on the show. And I mean, this is not really a podcast or anything, but it's just nice that we can finally get together and talk and have a nice long conversation and whatnot.
I bet you right now someone's gonna go put it on while they're drawing. And they're gonna be like, this is great background noise. I love this.
That'd be nice. Yeah, that'd be nice. But yeah, thanks for joining me today, man. And congratulations on Dream Match funding on the first day, dude.
Man, it was cutting it. It was cutting it close. I'll say that much. While you guys are still here and we're still alive, don't forget to go check out Air Rider 2, man. Air Rider 2. We should be done around the same time, if not me faster. But
right.
No, definitely. Like, guys, what's going on? Should be a first day fun. Did you first day fun the first one?
Yeah, I think so. Within 24 hours.
Okay, no, this should
also
be the same one.
It was also like $500 as well. So,
well, then what changed?
The day that I launched. So I launched on Monday, but before I launched on Friday, I launched on a day that was better for people to start dropping in money and all that. And I had family and friends that were like, you know, on it, and it was like my first Kickstarter ever. Everyone like jumps on the first one, but then on the second one is when you see like who's really trying to read the story, or who's really
Let me tell you right now, my father is probably the only person in my family who will congruently keep pledging any Kickstarter that I do, simply because he's a character in my series.
Oh, nice.
So I don't know if he'll do Dream Match because he's not in there.
Oh, that's funny.
Which is gonna be funny to go tell him, but no, no, man, it's always been fun. I'm glad that we were able to actually voice a voice, and I was able to tell you that at one point I thought you was like a Caucasian woman.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. It was something you said last year, and I was like, "Huh, sounds white," and I just left it at that. Like, I was just like, whatever. And then you went on the camera, and I was like, oh wow, her husband's on.
Wowzers, that's crazy.
Drawing booze. See, I told you. See, look, someone's actually drawing while we're talking. See how
Nice.
how productive we are to people. People like this kind of content. I don't know why.
Yeah, especially other artists, like they just like hearing about the process and all that.
Well, they also like to have mindless chatter so that they can like draw arms for a whole hour.
Yep.
They
Awesome,
can't get
man.
these hands to go. Let me hear two black dudes talk real fast.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. Awesome, dude. Well, thanks for coming on, and I think we'll end it here.
All right, let me know if you want to do this again.
Oh yeah, for sure, dude. All right. I'll see you in the next one then.
All right.
Peace. All right. Good night, everyone. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for watching the show. And we'll see y'all in the next live. Peace out, y'all.